What is going on, everybody? The Pro League North American Qualifiers. Mustache Dave, we got Necro chilling on the beach. Necro, whoa. How's it going, man? You look like you're on vacation right now.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing pretty good. It's kind of like midnight for me. Not gonna lie, but it's just the background. It's kind of like it's daytime, so you can assume that I'm still chilling out on the beach, feeling real good for myself. But what about you, man? How things been looking like for the past couple of days for you?
Oh, hey, I'm locked up in a room here, nothing but me and PUBG Mobile. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. We got quite the exciting couple days ahead of us. I believe we
Yeah.
got 15 games in total,
Ooh.
16 teams, and these teams they'll be playing every single game. So we'll kind of get to track along with them and watch their
Yeah.
progress because this is a big deal for a lot of these teams and a lot of these players who this might
Yep.
be their first taste of competitive PUBG Mobile here.
Oh man, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of new upcoming talents, and this is what we'd really like to see, right? Just players coming out from the grassroots level, the players we've never seen, and just surprising, just astonishing each and every single one of us, even the casters, even the observers, and we might just see some insane talents rise up, just like overall, which are able to compete against some of the best teams out there. So yeah, of course, as you mentioned, this is quite huge for some of the teams in here. 16 teams are going to be competing. We have five maps in the future as well to go through each and every single day. So this is going to be quite interesting, Dave.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. And another thing to kind of note here as we get into the lobbies, and we'll probably start to see, is that we're going to talk about these new and uprising talents, these new
Oh,
players. But I have to assume there's also going to be players who are kind of veterans within PUBG Mobile who
mm,
might not have made it to those bigger stages in the past, right? So they're going to be playing here for that second or third attempt to try to climb up the ranks here with some new blood with them. So I feel like that's an important thing to note here because they are
mm.
vets within the game, so they can kind of share that knowledge with these newer players and kind of just watch them grow.
Yeah, exactly. As just mentioned, the veterans definitely will need a share. So they will probably have to be the IGLs of the team as well because they will have some new teammates to back it up. But again, for us, when it comes to new teammate, this is going to be, as you mentioned at the start, a complete new test for a complete new taste for them, right? They have never been at this high level of a competition ever in their ever, and now this is the first time for them to actually, get a little bit of taste how the future lines are going to be looking like. Because from now on, competition is just going to get tougher and tougher, and they will need to try and adapt to it. As you mentioned, the veteran players will try their best to try and train these players, but again, in the end, it does really come down to that adaptive nature of each and every single player.
Well, talking about adapting, let's check out the format because these players, they're not going to have much time to adapt. As we mentioned, 16 teams, 3 days, 5 matches per day in the top teams. And I got a confirmation before the show started. The top 8 teams from this lobby will advance to PMPL. So that's the goal
Ooh.
here. Top 8 at the end of day 3, that's where these teams want to find themselves. And talking about
Mm.
teams, Necro, let's check out the teams that will be playing.
Oh man, let's check out the team. On the first, we of course have 100 Troubles, then F7, pretty much all the new names, man. I personally don't really feel like I've seen any of these names in the past. What about you?
I've seen a couple. Yeah, I've seen a
Mm.
couple. And to kind of go back to the original point that we mentioned a couple moments ago,
Yeah.
is that some of these teams they might not have made it through these earlier stages last
Yeah.
season, right? So they're coming back here the next season, maybe a little boosted up, a little more
Mhm.
prepared based off of those lessons that they learned last season. And I'm looking at Pro Era. I'm looking at the TacoLovers, my favorite squad, the Hitlist, Ogilvy. There's a couple teams here that are going to be kind of returning, trying to
Mm.
claim that glory and make that next round here.
Exactly. I mean, they're back with some new, fresh start. This is a chance for them to get a fresh new beginning and a beautiful slot inside the PMPL in the future as well. As you mentioned, there are a couple of returning names in here, and it's really going to be interesting to see how they're able to adapt and improve themselves over the course of time. And probably, I mean, we just went through PMGC as well in the past. We might just see a couple of teams trying to replicate those strategies as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because PMGC, the grand finals, what, 2 weeks ago, maybe even a week
Mhm.
ago, you and I were there. We were having a
Yeah.
good time watching those teams, and we learned some things ourselves, right? The meta that kind of evolved throughout the
Mhm.
season. So you have to assume that a lot of these players, they did watch those top players at the top echelons of competitive PUBG Mobile, and they'll take a page or two out of that playbook here and try to use it here. And kind of another interesting topic that we'll bring up here in this pre-show is a couple of these teams had individual players last season say the team did not qualify, but they had individual players who might have gotten picked up and put on
Ooh.
a new team who was in that next round of PMPL. So this is like, to me, a very good stomping grounds, kind of trial grounds as well for these individual players to really get their name out there.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, this is kind of like a chance. If you're able to stand out over here, maybe in the future, any of their orgs will definitely pick you up. This is where you really need to pop off. If you do so, then of course the future is going to be way much more brighter. But also, you mentioned there are a couple of returning names as well. That means there will also be a new talents on their side. So I do want to see what they've got in their back, because now there are a couple of veterans, couple of new players. Of course, new players. That means they also get inspired by the old pro players. So I do want to see how things are going to be looking like, because of course they're going to use those old strategies, but they're also going to add a little bit of twist from their own side.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. We got 15 games in total, and talking about those 15 games, let's check out the schedule and see how it's supposed to unfold. So we got Erangel, Sanhok, Erangel, Miramar, and then Erangel. So the majority of the map being played is Erangel. Any thoughts
Ooh.
about that one, Necro?
I mean, of course, Erangel being the classic map, it makes a lot of sense as well. Erangel being played. At this point, Erangel is one of those maps that each and every single player at this level is really used to. And that's why it makes a lot of sense. In schedule, there's a lot of Erangel being played because most of the players are really comfortable, right? We've seen each and every single player being so good and consistent, probably. I mean, when it comes to the map of Erangel, because they're just well aware of that map.
Yeah, and unfortunately for us, we're not playing on the Spider-Man update, so no, you will not
Oh,
be
no.
seeing your favorite player here shooting their web, getting all over the place. I tried. I asked Necro. I said, "Hey, can we play on the Spider-Man patch?" They said, "Dave, you're crazy.
Ooh,
Get out of here." So
makes
yeah,
sense.
I tried. It makes sense. It makes sense. So
Mhm.
yeah, 15 games, 16 teams. Now I know you kind of touched on you're not too familiar with these teams, but just
Mhm.
based on names alone, on that list, what was there? What? Yeah, just based on the team name, is there going to be a team that Necro is cheering for because you just like the name?
Oh man, I'm going for TacoLovers already, man.
Ah, yeah, let's go,
It's
let's
about
go.
food.
That
Come on, I'm a chubby man myself, so I'm of course going to be going with TacoLovers. Let's get it, man. What about you? What do you think so? Which team are you going to be going with?
Yeah, the TacoLovers is the team that I picked last season at this
Oh,
stage because of that. Because they have a sweet name and
hmm,
the mascot is just a cute little taco just staring at you. Like, I know you said you like to eat tacos, but if you look at that taco, I don't think you can eat them. Like he's just looking at you with his two eyes, just smiling at you. Like, I would feel guilty
it's
eating
cute.
that taco. It is
Yeah,
cute.
yeah.
One team that I was really cheering for besides the TacoLovers
Mm.
last season was Team Vamp. But I did notice
Ooh.
that Vamp, they changed up their logo just a little bit. They got rid of their mascot. So I'm curious if that will kind of help them here this season. And some familiar names just to kind of enlighten you here: LeveLx, Pro
Mm.
Era, Ogilvy, and the
Mm.
Hitlist. So those four teams, even HQA. So those 4 to 5 teams, they have been, as an org, just competing in the past couple seasons of competitive PUBG Mobile. So you got to keep an
Mm.
eye on these teams.
I mean, that's quite a lot of time in itself, right? I mean, they have got a lot of experience on their back. And honestly, the teams that do have a lot of experience, I do not want them to stomp the entire lobby. I want the new and upcoming players as well have an equal amount of chance, just as how much the old players have a chance. Because of course, when it comes to new players, new blood, young blood coming out, they are trying their best to prove themselves up. But just because a little bit of more experience in some teams, that might just be able to overshadow them. That's not really what I want to see. Instead, I want to see a tough competition here, Dave.
Yeah, and I'm kind of looking at these newer teams like Katalysts. Might be a new
Yeah.
team name, but I see Memo, King A, Neo, Kodo, some players who have been competing here for some time. And then I guess another one that we'll have to talk about because I know the chat will probably be talking about it. 100 Troubles. I see
Ooh.
Russell. I see Sixless, a player who has been in the NA scene for a while now. So we
Mm.
do have a lot of these vets, these veterans within PUBG Mobile competing here, and I'm really excited to see how they'll be able to help their teammates if they are kind of newer to the competitive scene with that knowledge
Mm.
that we're going to be talking about here. I'm sure.
I mean, even though they're new, yeah, they are new to the competitive scene. The thing is, I'm pretty sure they have been following the scene though. They do exactly know how things really do work around, how strategies do work around. But again, just watching and actually playing it yourself, experiencing it yourself, that's a huge difference, Dave. And this is what the difference these teams are going to be noticing. These teams are going to be understanding. And at the start, I'm expecting there's going to be a little bit of nerve shaking, in the first couple of games. But as time passes by, I'm pretty sure they should be able to get their nerves over, and they should be able to get the guns, hold the guns with the nerves way better. But I do understand there are, as you mentioned, a couple of teams that are pretty old. So what do you think, so man? Are you going to see like a complete aggression all the way off the bat, or are you going to be seeing like a safe game off the bat?
Um, that's a good question because we
Mm.
got 15 games and the goal is top eight. So that's a lot of teams, right? From
Yeah.
this lobby that will be moving to that next round. So the goal is top eight. So it doesn't matter if you finish first or if you finish eighth place here.
Mm.
All eight of the teams will be moved to that next round. So I feel like to really alleviate that pressure, I think today's a big day to try to capitalize on the fact that these newer players might have those nerves kind of going against them. So take full advantage of that and just play focused, play steady, and get consistent points all day so that
Mm.
day two, day three, you're not sweating too hard because you already got a nice amount of points in the pocket to your side. So I feel like these veterans should definitely keep that in mind and take advantage of the fact that they might be competing against some newer players to the competitive scene here.
I mean, newer player, that means they're all veterans as well. They're not really used to it. They don't really know how strats are going to be used by the newer players, right? So even newer players coming inside, they have a little advantage because they're, of course, going to be unpredictable for the first couple of games. And these are veterans will have a little problem to try and adapt what exactly is going on. But still, veterans will already have a huge advantage over all the new players that are coming in. So I'm expecting the veterans, of course, to like dominate the first day. But as you mentioned, the first day, as soon as if you're able to kick things off pretty well on the first day, that's gonna mean quite a lot because you only have 3 days and 5 games per day. You don't really
Yeah.
have a lot of time in your hands, and it will be slipping by as soon as the games are kicking off as well.
Yeah, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for, I believe, one or two more players to join the lobby, and the game will begin. Game number one. I already know. We have a 15-minute delay from now to the live stream, but I can already tell the future that the stream is like, game, when? Start the game. We want the game to start too. So it'll be there
Yeah.
very shortly, and we'll get the ball rolling. But back to the topic at hand here, we're talking about the veteran players. Another thing that you kind of have to think of, yes, they are veteran players, but then at the same time, how come they haven't made it to that next stage yet in the past, right? Like, how come they
Mm.
haven't been to the top? How come we haven't seen them play in the grand finals? So I do commend them for coming back here and giving it another go. But at the same time, even though they have a lot of experience playing competitive, maybe they needed to change one or two things up, right? To kind of take them to that next level, that next stage. What are your thoughts
Mm.
about that one? That's pretty spicy.
Oh yeah, that's definitely spicy. Now, that's a good question from yourself, and this is what I was wondering as well, right? I mean, this is over here they're really fighting for the PMPL qualifiers, and as you mentioned, somewhere down the line, having new teammates with you, that can also kind of like affect your performance over self because you also need to take care of yourself at the same time. You need being a veteran, you have a lot of burden on your shoulder, and you need to realize that because you also need to share the experience. You also need to make sure that your teammates with you all the time. You're going to be the one to call the strats all the time. You're going to be the one to make the calls. So even though you're being a veteran, you still have so much burden. You still have so much pressure to deal with. That in itself might just crack the best of the players out there.
Yeah, because these other players who might not have that experience, they're going to be looking at you for answers, right? They're going to be looking at you for support when the team maybe does get wiped out early and get those 0 points. You got to keep those emotions in check, because you made a great point that this is a very short tournament. There's only 3 days. There's 15 games. But then on the flip end, top 8 make it. So that's a goal that I feel like a lot of these teams could definitely aspire to accomplish here. So it is going to be pretty exciting once when we do get into game. I see 63 players. We're missing
One more.
one from HTV Esport. Yeah, I'm going to be calling you out. I'm calling you out right now because we are literally waiting for you. So where you at? Where you at? Where are you at here?
Call the man out, please. Just
Call him
one
out.
last man left, dude.
Ooh, LeveLx. Okay, so LeveLx coming back with Beast, Carnage, Double E, Logan, and Ultron. So I believe that was the same team from last season. So I also kind of like that some of these teams have stuck together, and I can only assume that during that off time when they didn't qualify from last season to now, they've been doing nothing but practicing, developing new strategies, synergy, just kind of toning and sculpting that game plan. So it's just perfect. So I got high hopes for LeveLx now with that in mind.
Oh man, definitely. Talking about high hopes. I mean, I have high hopes from each and every single veteran that's in here that's trying their best to, move on forward and level their game up as well at the same time trying to carry their team in the future lines. Now, as you mentioned, being a veteran, yeah, over here, you can also go for some solo pop-off moments, right? You can try and clean things up. You can try and go for those solo moments. As you mentioned, if you're able to actually pop off, there will be some organizations in the future that will watch you play, and there is a potential chance that you might be picked up by them, and that's quite huge. You being self a veteran, you can always put that experience on the board. You can always try and rock yourself up. But again, sometimes PUBG can be a team game, and just going for some solo plays that would be quite difficult, and it can also bring your team's morale down. So this is why I feel like most of the veteran players do get sometimes stuck back.
Yeah, definitely a team game, squad up for sure. But there's a lot. There's a lot to think about. Of course, you want to play as a team, as a unit, and qualify to the next round. But then on the flip end, you also want to perform the best you can as an individual,
Mm,
because after the qualifiers are done and PMPL starts up, these other teams might be looking for that additional
yeah.
fourth member. And of course, they're going to look to those people who have been putting up massive numbers here in the qualifier. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually in the lobby. The plane, the players, they're putting on their backpacks, putting on their shoes, tying the shoes, getting everything nice and ready to go, and loaded up here for game number 1. So, the excitement here for the North America qualifiers. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going in game right now.
Ooh.
Let's send it.
Oh, let's get it, Dave. And the problem is now there are a lot of new teams coming up as well. So they're not going to know where these teams are exactly going to be heading towards. So that means we're probably going to be seeing a lot of drop clashes. And the PMGC, each and every single team knows, okay, where this team's going to drop. So they do respect and they do give their own personal space to them. But over here, at the first couple of days, or at least at the first day, we're going to be seeing a lot of drop clashes happen. And to try and adapt to it, that's going to be quite interesting, because even though they do realize, okay, there is a team dropping on their drop spot, sometimes it might just come down to their ego.
Yeah, of course you got scrims, of course you got practice, but a lot of times these teams, they like to keep that strategy close to the chest, right? And they don't like to show all their cards. So although some of these teams might have practice against each other, you can't take it too serious. You got to take it with a grain of salt here. And well, I agree with you. I am expecting some early conflicts here tonight as teams kind of feel out the lobby and get a good gauge on everything that's going on. And right off the bat, I see 100 troubles dropping up there in Stallber.
Ooh, that's quite interesting. I haven't really seen any of the teams in the past that have been casting dropping up installer. That's quite interesting. I do want to see what their game plan is going to be like. I do already see them just separating around from each other, going for those small little compounds and just prioritizing loot. It makes quite a lot of sense. Circle moving on the right side as well. So that means you talk about drop clashes. We aren't really seeing a lot of drop clashes here, Dave, and that's quite interesting.
Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. Definitely some rotational conflicts, though, with the zone being out here to that northeast and a lot of players and teams out there to that west side. So looking at the 100 troubles kind of drop spot up there in Stallber, it actually paid off pretty big time with this zone because they're going to be up there in the north. They got a ton of room to work with, a ton of time to work with, and they could pretty much loot all those little individual buildings and then make their way into Yasnaya that is currently free and clear. So I actually, at first, I was like, man, this is a weird drop spot, but I actually really like it. I'm a big fan of it here in this game. And it goes back to they're going to be playing it nice and slow and steady as well, right? And I like that because to me, a drop like that means that they got their eye on the bigger picture, and that's getting some solid placement points here in game number 1.
Ooh, just trying to play for that survival game. Makes a lot of sense, yeah. GameChangers, though, dropped all the way on the bottom left in Tremors. I do want to see what their game plan is going to be because they still need to make it inside the circle. It's going to be a long pathway in as well. It's a game changer, having to deal with a lot of things to move inside. And sometimes if you're going to be going for those late rotations, things might not work out for you individually because there might just be some teams, yeah, even though they're not really trying to contest you, but still there might be some rotation clashes, and that's what you really do not want to see this early in the game because, yeah, you might just win that duel, you might just win that team fight, but still there will be a little bit of casualties even on your side, and you do not want that.
Yeah, I'm looking at GameChangers still in Primorsk. They have two options, right? They can either get in a boat and take the channel, maybe even go all the way south to military base if they have an extra gas can and make it and dock on a Milta, right? If they want to play extra safe, extra slow, and that avoidance, or they could just move through Ferry Pier, and we saw there that the Hitlist are going to be in Ferry Pier. So it really depends how comfortable the game changers feel here. If they are comfortable in their gun skills and their team communication, do they want to take an early fight here in game number 1 and risk the possibility of getting those 0 points if they do get taken out early? Or do they just play that avoidance strat here and go for solid placement points? So I'm really curious to see what they end up doing, just looking at them and their position to this zone.
Now, being new players, being new teams as well, we might just see a lot of lack of communication sometimes, lack of team synergy as well, maybe some rookie plays, but in the end of the day, it really does come down to you winning the fight and you trying to go for those wins inside the game. And I do want to see how they're going to be doing so. The Chosen moving quite close to another team in the front, but it seems like for now, there's no intentions of moving close. God G, it's bottom out. Luckily enough, no shots are connected onto himself. HTV came inside the game with only 3 players already being handicapped off the bat. That's not a good news for them.
Yeah, that was the team that we were actually waiting in the lobby for, and I guess they never showed up. So down to just 3 this early on. Fortunate for them, though, they are going to be east of school, and when we did see the zone, that is in circle number 1. So as long as they could, what looks like they're trying to do is have these vehicles and avoid these tires getting popped, they could camp that one out for some time. They don't need to worry about too many early game rotates here. So they're going to be pretty solid. But on the flip end, yeah, talk about a team that's not camping out nothing here. Katalysts. I like how all 4 of them have vehicles right here.
Yeah, they're just sending it, dude. Just going inside, right? I think so. This is one of those teams that would like to play the center of the zone and would make quite a lot of sense. I mean, these are just the PMPL qualifiers, right? And if you're going to be one of those proactive teams, that's going to pay off quite huge for yourself and your team. So Katalyst already on the move. Do see one man all the way in the back, though, taking his sweet little time, just scouting around, making sure his teammates have a clear pathway in the front.
And it goes back, though, to like the players and their level of comfortable in competitive lobbies, right? Like we've talked about Memo, King and Kodo, they have played in competitive before. So with that in mind, if they do see another team out there in the distance, they might be one of these squads because they do have experience. They might be one of these teams that tend to take these early game fights, these early engagements. So got to keep your eye on them for the time being. It looks like they did center up, like you were mentioning here, but I'm still going to be looking at them because they do have that experience. And just north of them, it's going to be the team that I kind of called out, LeveLx. Talking about experience, they're going to be up there in those Yesnaya fields. So things are definitely heating up as a lot of these teams, a lot of these players currently in these vehicles looking to grab a better position here in circle number 1.
I do want to ask the production to get the map up as well to know exactly what's going on the map. But yeah, for now, Thirdeye as well. Just trying to move in, just trying to get a comfortable spot. Are you?
I am. So if you got a question, let me know, man. That's why I'm here. What do you want?
All right.
I'm here.
All right. Just tell me what's going on in the circle. Which of the teams that are being really proactive?
Well, GameChangers are still in Primorsk, in the blue. So that's the opposite of proactive. You know, they're playing nice and slow. We got the Chosen dead center. So a lot of teams going to be looking to probably do the same thing. So we might have some early game pot shots kind of getting traded back and forth here in these compounds. And that's all fine and dandy. You just need to make sure that you're close enough to your teammate that, say you do get knocked, you got a teammate near you to pick you up.
A lot of teams are passing close by each other, and I'm pretty sure as soon as the next circle hits the deck, that's when the bodies as well would start hitting the deck in Pro Era. There was a team that made a quick rotation quite close to them. We do see a team in the front as well. For now, they're just trying to take out the buggy tires. Do spot a rotation in the front, but still, it seems like has no intentions of taking any shots for now.
Look at Pan just zooming in right here with the M4. Unfortunate for them, that tree bridge is in the way.
Who put that tree there? Who put that tree there? Who put it there,
They're getting intel. They're getting intel, right? And that's the important part here. They're getting a ton of intel. The Chosen, I know, kind of looking at the chat here. Ooh, there's your map you were asking for. Looking at the chat here the other day, a lot of people, a lot of hype coming into this event, the qualifiers for the Chosen. So that might be a team to keep your eye on here.
Ooh, okay. Maybe I'm going to be having my eyes locked on Chosen as well. But
a lot of hype.
Yeah, TacoLovers has to be one of those teams that I'm personally really going to be going for. It's kind of like my hearts with TacoLovers. And then maybe the rest of the teams are kind of just going to be like my, they're just going to be on the side eye over here. But yeah, circle moves in, and now this is where it gets a little bit more compact, and teams are slowly and steadily starting to traverse inside. Teams that are right in the center, they're going to be looking quite good, but still they will need to make sure that they're not really being the center of attraction as well.
So you're talking about the TacoLovers. Looks like you gave them a care package, a crate over there in school. Oh, man, I'm just saying, scripted, maybe, just maybe. And, well, they're going to be down there of school, safe, secure. The Hitlist, though, okay. They're posturing as if they want to take this fight with Vamp, but Vamp on the flip end, full-on retreat mode. They were getting shot in the process. They don't want no smoke.
No, definitely they don't want no smoke. Each and every single team playing for their lives inside this. I didn't expect things to be this safe. You haven't really seen any blood being drawn yet, Dave, and this is quite interesting. There are teams right next to each other, but they're still holding their triggers in their hands. They're not really deciding to fight. It's just a complete trigger discipline from each and every single team. And I do know, yeah, sometimes it can be really good, but if you don't start getting rid of people at this point in time, they're going to hinder you quite a lot in the future.
Oh, we already start to hear some shots. Ooh, HQA. G-Wang right here. Oh, what's going on? Jat G pulling up with the wrong dip here, Necro.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Did not really expect that team to be there and easily being taken care of now. Helping quit addiction. Looking quite good in that dip. The Def found themselves in. They're probably going to be holding it for quite a long time now, even in the future. The hit list, do you realize the compound in the front is being taken by Vamp? Now, Vamp is one of those teams that you're going to be looking out for. So tell me, man, What is that really stands out to you when it comes to Vamp?
Well, last season was their mascot, cheering them on the sidelines the whole time, and I think that extra additional support really helped push them in a couple of these matches that they might not have performed the best in. But when it comes to this season, I don't see that mascot anymore. So this game, I'll get back to that because Pan, remember, we saw Pan a little bit ago kind of scoping in, but that tree branch was in the way. Oh, man, I don't know what happened there, but Pan kind of overextended, got turned on.
Oh,
where's the team?
Unfortunate for sure. The rest of his team do seem kind of separated, out of sync as well. Flash in the top, trying to rain down death and destruction, but is that going to be enough? That's the question. Team Chosen, they are hurt, but they're not hurt enough. They can keep on trying to just take out the fallen man, Pan. Pan's life is in danger, and it will be taken away easily. Pan out the equation, eliminated Pro Era, left with only 3 players to work with, but it's fine. They're not the only team in the lobby with 3 players. There are a couple more teams as well that were handicapped off the bat. So Pro Era, they will have something to feel at least good about for now.
Yeah, and
Team
I like
Chosen
how
in the front.
Chosen. Yeah, I like how they only sent 2 up in the front lines with their buggy and their Croup, right, to take this fight. Meanwhile, they kept Poppy and Landland in those compounds, the complex right behind them to make sure to secure that one and keep it pinned down so no team could snatch that from them. And I like that play right there. They didn't devote all their players to just get this one flush. Instead, they got their eye on the bigger picture here. Look at this. Next zone goes up, too.
Oh, next zone goes up and it moves down south. That means all the teams that are up north, you can see a huge wave of vehicles just moving down south as well. And this is where you're probably going to be seeing a lot of rotation clashes. Pro Era just trying to scout out the areas right next to them. And luckily enough, they have found the circles right on top of them as well. They're kind of right in the center, but there are a couple of teams approaching them, and it's going to be Team Chosen. Team Chosen has already managed to take 1 player out from Pro Era, so that's going to be leaving them handicapped. But still, a 3-man roster can make a lot of things happen.
Yeah, and to be fair, Pan was out there kind of by themselves doing a little bit of investigating, lean peeking, and, took some shots and got immediately turned on. So kind of poking the bear right there when it comes to the Chosen. But Pro Era, they can hunker down, just pin down and stay in that position because you mentioned it is in that next circle. So I don't see the Chosen pushing into them anytime soon because the Chosen also did get a nice zone shift on their compound. The Chosen, though, they're not just turtling on up. They're flexing out just a little bit. They got Fan and Jai on these alternate angles to make sure to continue to apply that pressure and make sure nobody just crashes their building in that center for free. So I really like the zone dominance from the Chosen right now.
The zone dominance, is that what you like to call it? Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call it.
Makes a lot of sense as well, right? I mean, they were the team that also got some blood on their hands, so they're going to be feeling themselves for sure. Early elimination to kick things off, just to boost up your confidence as well, means quite a lot. And now here we do have another 1 team approaching level, and that's not going to be a good thing. GC just moves in forward. Russell is trying to make a flank happen from the back, and maybe he won't be able to catch 1 player off guard, and he does. It's Goldie instead who's able to take the man down. Ultron falls down. That's not a good news for the team that's trying to defend this compound, but the defense seems like it's getting easily breached through. Russell taken down quite low. Carnage trying his best to hold it down, but this time the fort's getting breached.
Yeah, it looks like LeveLx, they had 2 of their squad mates that kind of held back there in Mansion, and unfortunate for them, they got crushed. They got collapsed in on while the other 2 squad mates were on the edge of the play zone trying to hold down a spot right there. So GameChangers, this team came all the way from Primorsk. They wrapped all the way around the northeast, and well, look at this zone. It does not favor them at all. So fortunate for them, they're able to get 2 elim points to kind of offset the challenges that they're going to face here, because look at them. There's about 4 teams in that area right here to the northeast.
Oh, look at Pro Era though. Circle, another circle shifting right on top of them. That's going to be good news for them for sure. GameChangers looking to inflict some pain in the front. There is a team that's a little hurt. The down man needs a hand, but is he going to get one? That's the question. Lotus as well on the aggressive page. Memo going to be a supporting hand for Neo. is trying to keep his teammate alive for as long as possible. Chronic from Lotus strikes, gets a frag, instantly backs off and fades away. But Cat, they're down 2 men, and that's not a good news. Memo falls back completely. Kodo is a little safe, so maybe the guy in the clotheslines can actually go for a res. But is he going to be doing so? That's the question, but it doesn't matter. Lotus are a little too aggressive. Here comes the aggressive push from their side. Try inside the compound. He's hungry for blood.
Okay, so it looked like King A was able to pop into that vehicle and just full-on retreat over there. I liked Lotus's position a lot more out of all 3 of those teams. They had that little hill to work with behind them to the north, nobody there because that's the blue zone. So they were able to take their time and really be methodical with that push, that crest of that hill. And, well, they just executed that one beautifully. And talking about trying to execute something, Mute, the last one alive. Oh no, the last one alive. Oh, it's gonna be popping up with that UMP, trying to go for that spray down, whiffing a couple shots right there.
Ogilvy is the team out in front. They're trying their best to fight back, but this time it's Thirdeye who opens the third eye and rains down terror on him. And it's Jazz who puts the final nail in the coffin. 4 defeats already on their name, gets to get a successful squad wipe, and also now on a move with a pack. It's just some stylish way to move inside the zone as well.
Oh,
run overkill. Russell. Oh, no.
Russell,
he's going to be in tears right there.
Russell the roadkill right there. I wonder if Mute, if they knew Mute was there, that's why Mute was kind of pressure to pop up and try to make a play compared to just snaking it.
Oh.
Very curious. But F7 Esports out here. Okay, looking to take a fight with K19.
F7. Teams in the front, F7 definitely unsettled. We're finally seeing a team being eliminated on rank #8. That's not going to be good news for that team, definitely. But it's fine. You still have a couple of more games to go in the future. So there's nothing much to worry about. But F7 being in the front. Oh, no, just getting spammed for the mini. It's Skur trying to just dish off a little bit more damage, trying to just get as much damage as possible in his hands. But F7 over here, they're not interested, man. They're just going to back out, play things a little more safe if possible.
I respect it, right? But then at the same time, I kind of wish they were trying to be a little more aggressive here and trying to confirm these elim points. Because right now, 0 elim points. We only got 15 games in total. Like, literally every point matters. And I see out there a couple tasty treats in the blue zone. Like, if I'm in game, I might be looking to press out a little bit to get these elim points, right? So, I don't know. That's just my take. But they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing out there.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, what you're trying to say makes sense as well, but look at the players, right? Think of this with the players' perspective. They're already going to be having their nerves shaken, man.
Yeah.
And to go for those kind of aggressive plays, that's going to make them question 1,000 times. So that's why going for a safer play, being in their shoes, makes quite a lot of sense as well. And that's what they're really going for. A suppressed M416. It's been a long time. I haven't really seen one of those.
Oh, man. I was, Oh, Trey, though.
That was a run over kill as well.
Yeah, that was a run over. Oh, grenade, though, right on top of Trey. Is it good? Oh, right past him. Right past him from Thirdeye. The solo from Thirdeye, by the way. But looking at the points, Lotus, man, we saw him on that that collapse a little earlier on. There's 6 elim points so far. Trey going to be popping up, but Jazz going for that vehicle explosion. Trey hitting them heels. You have to assume Trey's calling for the support from his 3 squad mates from behind. And, well, Trey gets that support and pops up to seal the deal here in 70 elim points in game 1.
Oh, Thirdeye out the equation. And so does K19. They're just following it up back to back. 10 teams alive in the game. And Lotus, look at that. As you mentioned, with 7 elimination points, they're just looking to dominate this entire lobby. Try on a move. I do like how they're keeping that buggy with themselves. At least you need to have a couple of vehicles in the front in the future. And if you talk about definitely proactive nature and teams trying to copy some pro plays, Lotus has to be one of those teams that has watched quite a lot of experienced teams, and they're trying to replicate in their gameplay. Oh no! What's going on? Lotus, stop it. You're humiliating these teams.
They are catching a little static over here, though. They are catching a little static as Trey, once again, in their buggy, trying to go for those vehicle runovers. Looks like they were able to pull back, looking out there.
Oh,
In the
what?
distance. I was going to say, looking out there in the distance, I think those sight lines were exposed. And, well, Lotus, ton of elim points this game. But look at this. That compound, those buildings that the Chosen picked very early on, still in the play zone, Necro.
That makes me wonder, did he just not have any smokes left, or did he just forget to use the smokes?
The heat of the moment. The heat of the moment, man. You know, your blood's pumping.
Yeah.
Your blood's pumping.
Makes a lot of sense, man. It's just always, I mean, I also need to understand there are some new upcoming players that we're watching in here. So these kind of rookie mistakes are expected, but the wall of death is moving in as well in the back. They will need to try and beat the timing on it.
Oh, I'm looking at HQA. You got Tiny Pig and Sup Pig. Okay. Okay. I like this. I like what I'm seeing. I like this. But look at Glint. Does Glint know that a Tiny Pig is right behind him?
Oh no. You gotta always watch out from the Tiny Pigs.
They're vicious.
Oh, they're
vicious.
Indeed. I'm not really, I mean, I don't really know much about Tiny Pigs, but if you say they're vicious, then they may be vicious.
Yeah, when they're hungry, watch out.
Oh.
Watch out.
Okay. I'll take note of that for the future. But yeah, 100 troubles out of the game. Not looking that great. So many teams being eliminated. They're just following it up back to back. 7 teams alive in the game with 18 players in total. And Team Chosen as well. They are alive and kicking things over here and there. The hit list. The Weekly's about to blow up. They need to get a little bit of distance for themselves. TacoLovers alive with 3 players in the game, but there is a huge separation for themselves. 2 players over here. I don't know where the rest of the player is. He's all the way in the front, and he's trying to make it his way inside the zone. So that's some big separation coming out, and a bold move from that man as well. I do see him in the mini-map trying to play things a little safe, but this time it's TacoLovers finding openings in the front, getting those knockouts. All that matters, or at least all I'm looking out for, are they going to be able to convert those knockouts into kill? That's the question. Goldblade taken down quite low. Reckless is connecting those shots.
Yeah, so much spray coming out right now. And TacoLovers doing a great job at keeping this pressure onto the hit list, but they're giving away a lot of intel as well. We got the Chosen right behind them. But this is looking like the Chosen's game if I had to pick. You know, they still got their numbers. They got 4 up. They've been playing nice and clean. Every single play they make is well thought out this game. So I have to assume, unless somebody plays spoiler, the Chosen might take this chicken. But look at that. Faker cooking a grenade, looking to toss that one. Legal looking right over there. TacoLovers, that's your team. You picked them. They're in a top 3 situation right now.
Top 3 situation. Looking to seal the deal inside the game. 1. Faker finds one. But does he realize there's a snake in the close? And Legal, I'm pretty sure he has spotted Faker out, but he's just taking his sweet little time to try and strike, or at least find the sweet tuning to strike in and get the kills secured on Faker. Faker definitely is looking like an experienced player with the way he's playing. And look at that. Faker somehow is able to find the opening onto London. He goes down, and now F7 Legal peeks out. Position compromised. And God Plan in the front will be taken care of, will be instantly shut down. Faker realizes there's a man in the close, but look at this. Legal's doing so much damage with the UMP, the close, and this is why UMP is just so good in those close range.
Reckless to save the day for the TacoLovers. 6 elim points for the TacoLovers. Oh, man, looks like it's going to be a 3v2, though. Lan was playing that alternate off angle out there, was spotted in the process, and that's the risk of playing so separated from your teammates. Is once we get knocked out, it's going to be a challenge to get you picked up, but it looks like they're trying to send it to actually pick up Lan here.
Oh, exciting moment, definitely, for sure. TacoLovers, though. Presence of mind not being shown from their side. Yang in the back. Look at Poppy in the front, and also a man in the right. It's just so much pressure to deal with. And his team Chosen, as you mentioned, they're one of those teams that everyone's going to be eyeing out for, and they're just able to get a chicken dinner like that to kick things off. That's going to help them quite a lot. But still, there were a couple of teams that got a lot of elim points. So overall, a good game 1 for those teams.
The chat was right after all, Necro. The chat was saying in the past couple of days when I was watching scrims or whatnot, the Chosen, a team to look out for. And well, I know they had that compound very early on, and I know those zones kept popping right on top of that compound, but I was watching the mini map and they didn't just stay in that building. And we saw them when they pushed out onto Pan early game. They didn't just stay in the building, look out the windows. They were being proactive with defending that compound. They always had at least 2 of their squad mates on the outskirts of the walls, taking shots at any vehicles that might be rolling by to make sure that nobody could just crash onto them for free. And they just played it nice and slow. They played the edge. And then TacoLovers showing up late game, just showing up. They had that little boulder to work with. They had their vehicles, and well, they got a nice amount of elim points here in game number 1.
Yeah, as you mentioned, got a nice amount of elim points, but overall, Team Chosen, they were just looking so good. But with that being said, without wasting any time, let's just take a look at the match ranking and let's just find out how things really looked out for these teams. And let's just find out which were those teams that got themselves decent amount of KP.
Wow.
Look at that. Oh my God. Wow. The Chosen, they got 15 KP. They got 15 kills in that previous game. Taco with 7. Oh.
So the Chosen coming into match number 1, pretty much getting 2 chicken dinners. That is going to help them big time here moving forward. So if I'm the Chosen right now, all you got to do is maintain. At least when we're looking at them for today. Just maintain. Yes, you still got 4 more games to go. Sanhok coming up next. That's always a doozy. But the Chosen, just maintain. You already got 2 chickens practically. TacoLovers right beneath them. F7 Esports, Pro Era, the Hitlist. I'm surprised with Lotus, though. They had a ton of elim points, but those placement points, man, are really hurting them here on this page of the overall leaderboards.
I mean, Lotus was one of those teams. Yeah, they were at the start. They were able to get a lot of kills for themselves, but in the end, somewhere down line in the late game, it just feels like they were just cracking under the pressure. They weren't really able to get that mindset inside the game. It seemed somewhere down line, the presence of mind seemed kind of like off. Didn't really use the smoke as well to get the resurrection back upon his team. But it's fine, Lotus. That was just the first game. You still got a decent performance, decent amount of points out of that. 9 points to kick things off. That's not bad, right?
No, not bad at all. And every single time we saw Lotus, I know you would have wished to have saw that smoke right at the end. But every time we looked at them, they were just nonstop aggression, coming on out from that team. And I think that demonstrates a lot of confidence, right, in the lobby. And if you can come into match number 1 with that amount of confidence, for me as a caster, I just want to see more of that. Just continue on today with all that confidence, and I don't see them failing. Honestly.
Confidence really does matter a lot at this level, at the starting level, right? If you're one of those teams that is really high in morals, that is confident with what you're doing, each and every single decision that you're going to make, especially the IGL of the team has to be the most confident person throughout the entire roster. Even if the other players, sometimes their confidence is kind of boggling, the IGL's job is to just try and get the team's heads back in the game and try and tell them that, okay, guys, we got this. Get our heads in the game. All you guys need to do is just trust on my call outs. If the IGL is confident himself, the team will be as well. And this is what clearly was being shown. The teams that got higher elimination points for themselves, the confidence was definitely being shown, but just somewhere down line, sometimes the unlucky factor do hit them. And that's why they weren't really able to at least, get those positioning points in their hands. But Vamp was one of those teams that you were eyeing out for. And unfortunately, you weren't really able to do that great at the first game. Maybe in the future, in the upcoming games, they will surely be able to put on a show.
Yeah, we're only 1 game deep, right? And game number 1, we saw early game, a lot of these teams are playing really passive, really slow. And I think everybody just kind of getting a feel for the meta, in the lobby, getting a feel for how other players are going to be playing it when it comes to that early game aggression or not. So definitely really slow here. Game 1 to be expected. And just in case you're out there wondering, Necro, look what they did to me. I'm just Mustache Dave, as if Mustache Dave isn't enough down there. Underneath me. They got me good.
I saw it.
So yeah, I think if you are one of these teams that performed, on that second page, don't worry about it. We got more games to come. And talking about more games to come, we're going to send it to a quick break, and we'll be back with Sanhok. is going on? We are back. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat here. I'm looking at some OGs. We got Courtney, we got Lexi, we got Landland in the chat, one of the players competing here. So shout out to everybody watching here tonight. But Necro, let me get your take here. Game one. Like, what are your thoughts, man? Like, what did you notice? What did you like? What didn't you like? Lay it on us, man. Lay it on us.
I mean, there's literally nothing that I would say that I didn't really like. I mean, I do understand this isn't really the highest level of competition, so I was expecting some rookie mistakes being made by these players, which is quite understandable. They're still trying to adapt to the higher level of competition, so I'm not really just going to go ahead and criticize all these teams that are playing in here just to try and bring their morals down. But what I really liked was there were a couple of teams that were trying their best to just give up give up all they had. For example, the Chosen. Now, as you mentioned, even in the chat, some players were saying Team Chosen is one of those teams to watch out for, and they're able to deliver it up to the mark. TacoLovers, as you mentioned last time, you were rooting for them, but they weren't really able to deliver or at least play as good. Kicking things off really good in the first game, that's going to mean quite a lot for TacoLovers.
Yeah, for sure. Carrying on with that momentum, I know that's something that I say a lot here, and I think last season I was actually given a momentum meter. So I would say after that game, the Chosen, their momentum on the momentum meter has to be at like that 8 mark out of 10. TacoLovers, I would put at like 6 out of 10. But some of these other teams, man, it is, you know what I'm saying? The momentum meter, it's all the way down there. So hopefully with Sanhok coming up here, we talked about it during PMGC. You already know I'm going with this. Sanhok, heal to win, baby. Heal to win. You didn't like it. I was like heal the whole time. I'm really curious if some of these newer teams,
Oh, yeah.
these newer players, if they're going to utilize that strategy here on this map.
I mean, I honestly feel like when it comes to newer players, I'm expecting a lot of aggression on the map of Sanhok. At least that's what I'm really going to be rooting for. Of course, the smaller map, this is what really happens in normal public games as well. Sanhok is one of those maps where it's just a complete high adrenaline game. It's just a complete chaos. It's just an aggressive game in general. So I'm expecting these new teams as well to just start it off with an absolute banger. Just go out there for blood. Just try and get those limp points in their pockets. And if you do, that's going to help you out quite a lot in the future as well. This is just a second game, Dave. You still have a little bit more game in the front, and if you are going to be going for that aggressive play, that's also going to help you quite a lot to settle down the nerves that you're having right now.
Yeah, and not only that, Sanhok is one of those maps that snakes. If you really know how to snake, you could definitely acquire some placement points. And I noticed last game, 100 Troubles. I think they had one of the most famous snakes in the game, Sixless the Snake, able to get some placement points. So, ladies and gentlemen, Pro League North America Qualifiers, game number 2, match number 2, day 1. Let's get it, Necro.
Oh, match number 2 on the map of Sanhok. Way much more smaller map, and I do want to see how many teams are going to be dropping in Bootcamp and Paradise, man. These are the 2 spots that I really love personally. Maybe Ruins on the 3rd spot as well. But is that the same for you too?
I'm looking at teams. Everybody drop boot camp, right? We need. You're talking about aggression. You're talking about showing your
It'll be like a
dominance
death
in
match.
the lobby. Yeah. Hey, boot camp. Let's all go boot camp. And it looks like 100 Troubles actually gonna be dropping in boot camp right here, right
Wow.
now, and nobody with them, man. Nobody with 100 Troubles.
Interesting. We were expecting a lot of drop clashes. I mean, we're not really seeing that in these PMPL qualifiers. This is quite interesting and quite catching me off guard as well. Look at Team Chosen. 2 players in Ruins and the rest 2 players somewhere on the smaller compounds, but we might just see a little drop clash in Sami. It's going to be between GC. And now I do want to see how things are going to be looking like for them. One of the men is separated out from the rest of the pack, and that's going to be a little problem. While the rest of the players from the other teams, they have all 4 players heading inside Sami. So the man is separated out, and he needs to watch out for sure.
Yeah, definitely need to be on your P's and Q's. And, well, here's a nice little overview right here. Thirdeye. Oh, Kodo already spotted with that UMP from Jazz. And, well, taken out on their knees. Not thirsted quite yet, but it's going to be Katalysts. On the overall leaderboard, they did not get that many points. Game number 1. And these are some players who some would consider vets in the game of PUBG Mobile. So I'm really curious how they will react to the fact that, hey, there's another team trying to step into your territory.
Katalyst, I mean, losing out on one of the players. Definitely going to be having neutral faces after that. Not really sad, not really happy. Kodo is just bleeding out. The time's running away from their hands, and so is the sand. They need to try and get Kodo back up on his feet, but the chances are fading away. And yup, Kodo, the kill will be confirmed onto him. Thirdeye are going to be happy campers. Now they can just back off, as they know the Katalysts are kind of handicapped. They can just play on a little bit of more safer page, or maybe they can go for the aggressive play. But instead, they're going for a safer page.
Yeah, and it is, what, 3 minutes almost into the match, so there's definitely time to work with when it comes to that pressure, and nobody's really near them for the time being. So you got GameChangers on that east side, you got the Chosen up there to the north, but nobody really looking to press this and get that third party going on. So both teams can really try to plan this one out, and I think try to take the fight head on here, even with Katalysts being down a member. I wouldn't count them out. You know, I wouldn't count them out here. They might come out on top. All it takes is for Katalysts to spot out one of these Thirdeye members, get a knock, right? Get a knock through one of these windows. Because I'm looking at Jazz. Some of these players, they don't even have the best of gear yet either here, since it is so early on.
Makes a lot of sense as well, right? Early engagement means you cannot really move around freely, and that means your movements also being kind of isolated. You don't really have a lot of buildings to loot. You don't really have that much loot to work with. And this is why I don't really like fights that do come down to stalemate this early in the game, because that just means you're going to waste a lot of time, and that's going to hurt your team itself because you're not going to have enough time to loot. On the other hand, K19 quite close to Lotus. Now, Lotus in that previous game looked quite good, looked quite promising when it comes to those limb points. Man, quite close to Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi realizes Ionix is close, but it doesn't matter. Ionix has his spidey senses tingling, and he will take care of the man in the close.
Yeah, how'd they know? I mean, it's like, how'd they know? I guess the feet, maybe the sound cues, kind of giving them away right there. Unfortunate for Lotus, and now we see them on that mini-map. They are going to be pulling back after losing their frontline snake. You know, that player that was really hoping to spring the trap onto K19. K19 were well prepared for this, and especially with an M249, it looks like they will be the kings of this hill for the time being. And real quick, shout out, who was it in the chat here? Somebody in the chat, Alerix. Alerix said burritos are better than tacos, and they wanted me to ask you your take on that one here, Necro, since you are cheering for the TacoLovers.
Okay, I mean, look, I would honestly say that I haven't really tried burritos. I'm from India, look, and I haven't really tried burritos. I mean, not enough burritos to give a take, but I would say from the tacos that I've tried, I love tacos, man.
Okay. Well, you know who doesn't love being the taco here is 100 Troubles. And when I say taco, I guess the grenade taco that they're currently getting pinched into right now. And let's see what Wancho can do.
Juancho lobbing in those nades in the front. Jaji taken down quite low, but it's fine. Still has a decent amount of HP. He can try and patch himself back up. 100 Troubles with that bootcamp control looked really promising inside the game of Sanhok, but I do want to see those promises. Are they going to be leading up to something, or is that just going to be leading to their demise? THL in the front, kind of on the back foot, did realize they do not want to go against 100 Troubles that quickly, or at least that early in the game. Maybe they just want to play a safer game over here.
100 Troubles, but a grenade ain't one, as it does look as if all of them were able to avoid those grenades. And very, very surprised, actually, that the Hitlist ended up pulling off that one. And they're going to be grouping up just north of Quarry. But popping back over here, Thirdeye, remember, Thirdeye, they were trying to take a fight with Katalysts off the drop, off the rip. And I believe the Chosen might have heard those shots, and they are looking to press the situation. Now, one thing to note here, Necro, the Chosen, they only have 3 of their teammates up here kind of surrounding Katalysts. Meanwhile, Landland's still back there looting on their original drop spot. So very interesting play right there.
We did see Katalysts already taking a little bit of casualty on their side, so they're going to be unhappy for sure. Team chosen in the front and quite separated out. Poppy, the man in the front lines. Memo did sense him being in the front. But look at this, also taking little shots for the left side. They need to watch out, but the nade from his side, the nade from Memo is going to be on mark, and he will find those shots for sure. But look at this, what's going on? God G from the left with the M44X, just able to mow him down.
Gee, wow. Wow, that is something else here. And yeah, Poppy was traded on their knees, but look at the teamwork. I mean, they lose one of their teammates, or I mean, not lose, but get knocked, and they're immediately trying to come up with a plan on how to close the gap and get the pickup, the revive, and pretty much the reset immediately. Like, there's no hesitation right here from Fan when Fan's kind of on that rescue mission. I like that a lot here, Necro.
Memo, though, is still knocked out. Not a good news for Katalyst. Poppy as well was knocked out, but it's fine. The down man will get a hand, and he should be able to get himself back up on his feet without any trouble. Memo being knocked out, slowly and steadily trying to crawl away to safety. Godji, they're trying their best to find the knocked out man, but he has slipped past through their eyes, so Neo now will probably go for the res on the Memo, but the aggressive push comes in through from the side of the Chosen, and they're not going to let that happen. Kill confirm comes in through on the Memo, and Neo is taking a lot of damage from the Wall of Death. Does he have the first aids to work with? Only has one more, Dave. That's a little problem.
And it is early game, right? It is early game, so Papa Blue's not going to be doing too much damage, but just the fact that the Chosen, instead of looking to reposition into zone, they're pushing out. They're pushing in the opposite direction right now, Necro, to make sure to get the elim point onto Neo. That is something else here. And oh man, here's the zone, but you have to assume Neo is dead to rights. Neo has 3 Chosen members hot on his trail, hunting them down. Meanwhile, look at Landland. Like, Necro, what is your take on this? Like, Landland is like completely going the opposite direction here.
Interesting. So you mentioned.
Meanwhile, his teammates are thirsty right now in the blue.
Look
on
at
the
this.
hunt.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
They're on a hunt. They're on a hunt. A beautiful nade as well to dish off a little bit of damage, and that's what he exactly does. But Neo, now using the TPP perfectly, does realize the push is coming through, and Neo needs to try and hold things off over here. Or at least try and make sure that the Chosen are being held off at bay. Poppy makes an aggressive push, but Neo with the beautiful headshot will take him down, or at least will shut him down. Neo needs to patch himself back up, and that's what he exactly goes for. He's patching himself up with the 2-player in the front push in, but Neo just doesn't really have the HP to support himself. He will fall down.
Yeah, Neo trying to hit that med, trying to boost back up, but Poppy right on top of him, able to obviously relay that intel back to his teammates, and they just, sent it through that doorway. The Chosen, right now, I know it's only game 2, but they're something else. I'm impressed, not gonna lie. They're separated enough where it really comes down to their individual gun skills and mechanics to really clutch it out, but they're also playing close enough that, say it doesn't work out in their favor and one of them do get knocked, that they're close enough that they can immediately try to get the pickup and the reset. So the Chosen, they're chosen for a reason here, and I'm impressed with what I'm seeing here so far, Necro.
15 teams still alive, only one team got taken care of this late in the game. K19, do you hear the shots in the front? Trying to scout the area out in the front with the M4 3X. The signature M416 can definitely dish out quite a lot of damage, but you just need to be a little bit more precise with that. On the kill feed, do see a couple of kills happening here and there. And look at the man for Ogilvy just moving on left, right, just bobbing and weaving, just giving that jiggle movement, making sure even if he is trying to make it back to safety, he's not catching any bullets. K19, though, they already do have a casualty on their name, and it's the man himself, Skr taken out.
Skr. You're talking about the suppressed M4. You haven't seen it for a while. I was playing LeveLx Aftermath last night. I used the suppressed M4, and I was just snaking it. I got a squad wipe, dude. So I don't know what you're talking about. The suppressed M4, to me, that's my bread and butter. Like, What do you got
dude.
against it? What do you got
All right,
against
dude.
it?
Listen,
I
okay.
got a
All right,
squad
dude.
I got the replay,
Okay.
Necro.
Okay, dude.
Okay.
Okay, dude. Okay, have
What
we
do you
ever
got
seen?
against it?
Did we see a single suppressed M4 in the entire PMGC?
I mean, did we see a solo snake in it on LeveLx?
I mean,
No.
LeveLx is just not there in the competitive comp. Like, how
but
can
on
you say
Sanhok,
that?
though, I'm just saying, a suppressed M4 in a snake's hand on Sanhok, that could do some damage.
Yeah, that can. I mean, snakes, they need to be sneaky, you know. Can definitely do decent amount of damage without a doubt. But
why don't you like
dude,
it?
I mean, it's not like I don't like it. I understand. Yeah, it can help you out quite a lot, suppressing the sounds as well. But I just feel like a compensator can be way better that can compensate the recoil instead going for a suppressor, you know? I mean, even though suppressor, yeah, like in long ranges, you can't really hear it, but still mid to close range, you can hear the shots that are coming from.
I guess it was a pub lobby that I was playing in. So, Necro, one thing I want to point out. I just, for some reason, something just clicked in my head. Looking at Landland, I kept saying, what's Landland doing? Landland's going for meds. Landland has been doing nothing
dirty boy,
but hunting down meds for the last 13 minutes of this game. That's why Landland's not playing with his teammates. He's looking for meds. So they're looking to go for that med strat here. Talking about being a fanboy for the Chosen. I'm on the fanboy. I'm the hype train conductor right now for the Chosen after watching that play.
Landland, yeah, it just seems like he's the only man going for the heal battle inside this. And as I mentioned, in this kind of a lobby, I did not personally expect any teams actually go, especially going for those heal battles. Instead, I expected these teams to actually go for those fights early on. But we didn't even see a lot of early fights themselves. We're just seeing a normal game of Sanhok, a competitive game of Sanhok, which is something that I'm definitely not disappointed with, which is quite understandable. But I just wanted these teams, of course, you're new over here, I just wanted these teams to be aggressive.
Yeah, real slow, right? And I feel like that plays an even more of an impact, that heal strat, because there are going to be so many enemies alive here towards that mid to late game. So just having that player in the blue healing the whole time for those guaranteed points, that's going to play in their favor. And they're going to get tested because look at this, the Chosen pretty much losing 2. I don't think Fan can get this pickup. I'll be really surprised if they can. Yep, looks like they're going to be losing them. So Fan are going to be out here by themselves.
Oh, man. The Chosen. Moving inside the compound. It's going to be God, Fan. Over there. Thirdeye do realize there's a man on the left. That's why now it's going to be going for a little bit of more safe rotation behind those stones and trees. Just make sure he's avoiding the sight line of the Chosen. Do like the approach he's taking, but he's now entered the water as well. As soon as he does, maybe if Godfan spots him out, that's going to be a little problem. And he's trying his best to scout the area out. He does know there is someone in the front, but still he hasn't really caught the eye.
I'm really curious to see how many meds Landland has. Like, if you had to put a number on it, I would say at this point,
17.
At least 17. Yeah, I was going to say like 15.
Yeah.
So we'll keep tabs on it, right? Because look, there's 15 teams left. Fan by themselves, but Fan wasn't the one looking for those meds. So it's going to be a very big challenge for Fan to make it into his next circle alive, because you got GameChangers, you got Thirdeye, and the next zone right here goes through Quarry. So I don't see Fan surviving much longer, but on the flip end of the Chosen, Landland has to be just stacked up to the teeth here with the meds, with the boost, and I'm just really curious to see how far they can make it. But looking at this next circle here, Necro, any initial thoughts?
Quarry finish? Interesting. Been a long time, Dave. Haven't really seen one of those, and quarry finishes can be really interesting. Trust me. This can be really interesting because getting yourself a position inside quarry, especially, this is just like a complete new thing or a complete new surrounding to adapt to in those quarry ends. And sometimes you might just see a lot of teams struggle because you're not going to be practicing for those. Iconic, though. In the kill feed, we do see that man pop it off, but on the other hand, F7 just raining down death and destruction in the teams in the front, and it's going to be Pro Era in the front. Taking a lot of shots onto themselves. Casper's knocked out, Pan being confirmed, and it's all down to Flash and Vayne.
Yeah, and it comes back to the fact that early game, there wasn't much action, right? So there's just going to be so many players alive here that as the zones continue to condense, these open fields, you have to assume there's going to be at least 1 or 2 enemies looking right on top of you. So you really need to have your head on a swivel, and it's going to be a challenge, right? I'm looking at these teams, Pro Era, F7. Oh, you see the toes. There we go. Oh, the spray down. So we're taking these shots now, but they're not in the next circle here, Necro. So the next circle, you talked about it, Quarry. You do not want to go inside Quarry unless it's your last option, because making your way out of Quarry is going to be a challenge. And that's why we see a lot of these teams kind of playing the outskirts of Quarry right now. And well, with 15 total teams alive, there's not a lot of terrain or compounds to work with here on these outskirts.
So you mentioned 15 teams live. Don't really have a lot of cover to work with, and even the cover that you have, as I mentioned, it's just a complete different surrounding to get used to. So that's going to be catching a couple of players off guard. HTV in the front, making that aggressive push happen, and finally this time they have all 4 players available in the lobby. Quan's being knocked out, but there is a man in the back to try and get the rest back up on the fallen man. Angry Q in the front, tossing in smokes just to try and block off the enemy vision. Do like the aggressive smokes there. And HTV, the intentions are pretty clear. They do want to pass on to this compound.
Let's see. Will they pounce? In this situation, GameChangers, they do have the building to work with. Meanwhile, HTV kind of on these outskirts. Now, they have more options to rotate around here. The next zone did favor them, the hard shift here. But a lot of teams, they tend to look at these hard shifts, and they might actually play these hard shifts when they're looking to rotate. So HTV, for the time being, I like their spot, but they also have to keep in mind that other teams might look to rotate and utilize the same exact terrain that they're holding down too. So we'll see what they do. Boom behind the boulder. Not in the next zone.
There we go, though. HTV slowly and steadily closing in the distance against the enemies. Even though they do have a clear man advantage, they're still taking things real slow and safe. They're here to win, man. I'm telling you, the intentions are pretty clear. GameChangers, they need to try and read this push coming in from the side of HTV, and they do seem pretty tunnel vision in the front. They don't just care about their back anymore. But finally, we do see them turning their eyes in the back, and well, HTV, they're taking quite a lot of damage. Quan taken down low, but it's fine. He's able to patch himself back up. GameChangers do realize there is a push coming up from their back, and HTV, even one single frag can help them out quite a lot. Rowe just gives his position away with that shot. Boom, able to take down the man in the front quite low, and he's finally going to be catching the man as well.
Boom, right there. Papa Blue going to be crawling up right behind. Russell is going to be cooking this grenade, prepping this grenade, going to be tossing this grenade. Looks like boom, catching the grenade right there from Russell.
Oh my God, that's a huge nade from Russell. But Angry Q as well is cooking something up in his hands. Cooking destruction in his hands. Not a lot of damage being dealt, but GameChangers still. They're able to turn the tides in their favor. They're able to flip the tables over here. HTV, even though having a man advantage, now the man advantage has been equalized. Or scratch that, maybe it's a 2-on-3 still. HTV do have man advantage, but I don't like how slow and how scared HTV are playing this situation. Even though they clearly do have a man advantage inside this fight, they should realize this and just go for an aggressive push.
Yeah, every team is playing slow, right? Like, it's such a surprise to me, honestly. But the next circle, we saw the shift, and we had 15 teams. Now we're down to just 9. So I'm going to call that the Thanos snap over here. And let's see, Russell looking to make a play, but Russell needs to be aware that he is going to have enemies behind him, but he's also looking ahead. Chi-Wing right beneath that Ronnie. I believe Russell might have spotted out a toe here. Yep. Russell going to be looking for that flank, looking to take these shots. Oh, but the support from downtown. It wasn't Chi-Wing, but it was Tiny Pig. I told you, watch out for those tiny pigs here, Necro.
Oh, man, GameChangers from the back getting shut down. And it was Taco Faker as well who gets taken care of. But HQA in the back, looking quite good. 100 trouble, slowly and steadily moving up forward. Russell as the man in the back. He doesn't really have a lot of mess to work with. He still has the bandages. I don't really know why he's patching himself up. Same thing goes with DK. Maybe they just don't want to give any sound cues away. And 100T taking things so slow. And K19 doing the same thing.
You have to assume they know, right? I mean, you have to assume. You got 100 troubles. Wancho, Russell, pulling out the snake strats. But look at this. Wancho, no meds, no boost. I'm curious if Wancho passed off their meds to Russell right behind him. But I'm also curious, does Wancho, okay, Wancho might have heard something down here. Might have heard something. DK going to be pushing up. Oh, with the barrel, though. Going to be popping up over that ridge.
Oh,
Wancho
no.
with the UMP. Making sure.
Just so good.
Making sure to keep Russell alive behind him. I have to assume with those meds.
UMP is just so good in this close range. And with that initial fight, their position also being revealed, that means Vamp are going to be well aware of what exactly is going on in the surroundings. But look at that. All the way from the back, it's HTV striking in just to spoil the game for HQA. Man's down, and Vamp now on the aggressive pace. These are the final two teams alive. Mayo was taken down quite low. HQA now left with all the players alive. Actually, scratch that. They only have 3 players to work with. One of them is quite low, and the nade from Benny is going to find the opening. Another man being taken out. The equation. Sub pick goes down as well, and now HQA left with just that one last man alive. And Vamp, you were opting for this team, and it seems like you were right, Dave. Vamp are one of the best teams in lobby currently.
I mean, after two games, yeah, that was pretty impressive. Vamp, they were able to keep all of their teammates alive in that late game. They also had a couple of elim points to go with it. But honestly, Necro, it's like the whole, first 20 minutes, first 17 minutes, very slow, right? Very
interesting,
slow.
right?
Very interesting, yeah. Not a lot going on. But then we had this one circle shift where it went to the east quarter, and it's like, bam, like that. We went from 15 teams to 9 teams. And immediately after that, it was like the end of the game already. So I'm really curious, with that in mind, we do have more Sanhoks to come here in this qualifiers. Will teams play a little more aggressive early game? Only time will tell.
I honestly don't think so. I honestly don't think so. The way things are going, I feel like teams are just going to get even more safer and safer because they would realize that the competition as well is getting really intense. Games as well are moving out their hands. So I feel like teams as well, they're going to try to rack up those points. Maybe on the final day, we might see teams just going all YOLO and try and get those elim points and placement points as well.
I'm with you. Very, very interesting to see how many teams are playing so passive here early game. But let's check out these match rankings because one team I'm very curious to see, the Chosen, Land. What happened? Where did they place after that whole big brain heal strat? Looking at the placement points, they only have 1. So that means they place 8th through 12th place here. So, well, that heal strat didn't really work out in their favor here, Necro.
Yeah, it didn't really work out clearly. I mean, I don't even know if he was doing the heal strat. That's the question. Was he doing it?
Yeah,
I mean, he was.
They were 1,000%. They were looting so many complexes, so many buildings since the drop here that for a fact they were going for that med strat. And you know what? It is day number 1. So this is the day, say you aren't comfortable playing in a competitive lobby with the competitive zones. Today is the day to practice that med strat on Sanhok because you and I, listen, we saw PMGC, the grand finals. We saw how the med strat, it helped teams really jump up those leaderboards here with placement points. So we know it works, Necro.
It does work. We didn't just see it. We were casting it as well. So, I mean, med strat can help you out quite a lot, and especially in the map of Sanhok. And it seems like maybe, Dave, you need to join that roster, man. Be like a 5th man just for Sanhok, dude. Be like, okay, guys, I'm going to help you guys just get some consistent points in the map of Sanhok, and then you guys can take over. What do you think? So if you were supposed to join the roster, how much would you charge them?
I don't know how much I would charge them. Maybe a couple UC here and there, maybe a jersey. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact when I did put my my player resume out there, I said, listen, fellas, anybody. I said Sanhok, put me in on Sanhok, I can guarantee you a top 5. I've been practicing my med strat. I'm telling you, I have been harping on it for at least a solid month now. It is a
Ooh.
crucial strategy and skill to have in your arsenal if you are any of these teams. But let's check out this second page here. Lotus Esports. That's one that I am surprised with because of
Mm.
all the early game to mid game aggression we saw last game. You and I, we were both impressed with their playstyle, but coming into the Sanhok map, only 2 points.
Yeah, consistency clearly not present there, Dave. And I mean, not surprised, honestly. As I mentioned, I don't really have a lot of expectations at this level of competition from all these teams. Maybe there will be one or two teams that will completely surprise, and then they can be the new and uprising talents, as Jason likes to say, forging some diamonds. But yeah,
Diamonds in the
but
rough.
then diamonds, man. Yeah, but yeah, overall, I don't know. I'm not really expecting good performances from each and every single team. Maybe yeah, they will have one or two pop off games here and there, but all the time having pop off games, that's quite questionable at this competition. So let's just take a look at the overall rankings. After the first 2 games, let's find out where the teams that found themselves in, and of course, it's Chosen leading the charts.
Yeah, they had 30 points in game 1, so those 30 points definitely keeping them up there in the top. This last match only 5 total points, so 35 right beneath them. Vamp 27. TacoLovers still maintaining up here at the top after 2 games, but HQA 1 point behind them.
Ooh, leaderboards. I mean, overall leaderboards looking pretty close, man. Look at that from the second to fourth. Things looking so close, especially from third, fourth, and then you also have fifth. Overall, from all the way down from third to the rest of the overall rankings, things are looking really close. So, especially teams like TacoLovers and teams like HQA, they need to be really consistent in these upcoming games. If they're not really able to do that great in the first day, you're going to be having a lot of pressure on your back in the upcoming days, and then you will just have a mountain to climb.
Yeah, and just a reminder for anybody curious, just tuning on in, the top 8 teams at the end of day 3, after match number 15, the top 8 teams will advance to PMPL. So if you're wondering, hey, what are these teams playing for? What is the goal? What is the objective? Well, that's it, to be top 8. So it doesn't matter if you're first or 8th place, as long as your team is within that range, you will advance to that next round. So only 2 games deep. We have Erangel, Miramar, Erangel. 3 more matches to go here on day number 1. Still a ton of gameplay to be had and a ton of games to be had. But if you're one of these bottom teams, you cannot afford to continue to let these points slip on out of your grasp and pop off in that last day. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was game number 2. We're going to send to a break. We'll be right back. people? The Pro League North American Qualifiers, hosted by Mustache Dave, Just Dave, and Necro out here. Big chillin' out here. My man, so 2 games deep. I gotta ask you, hot takes, teams to look out for. How we feeling?
Oh man, teams to look out for definitely has to be Vamp. Now, the way you were also being so confident saying that Vamp has to be, Vamp was your pick at the start of the day, and Vamp they're able to do really good in second game. Another team that I'm really going to be eyeing out for has to be the Chosen. Now, this team as well can be potential one of those teams that can surprise us and that can just steamroll through the entire lobby.
The Chosen, I'm gonna go on a limb here, and a lot of times people ask the casters the talent before the matches start, before the tournament starts, like top 5, top 3, top 2. I'm going to go on a limb and say the Chosen, for me, top 8 confirmed already. Just watched them in 2 games. So, yeah, I know. It's early on. I'm not trying to call it right now, but I'm going to say out of those 8 spots, I think the Chosen will take one of them. So to me, I'm looking for 7 more teams, Necro.
Ooh, 7 more teams. Going to be interesting. Yeah, I do want to see another one of those teams that I want to see another one of those teams just joining that bandwagon of just absolutely just destroying teams in the future as well. Now, moving on to the side of the map of Erangel again, if I'm not wrong, this is going to be quite interesting to see how teams have already adapted. Now, they got the first Erangel map out the way. It was more kind of like just to experience how things are really going to be looking like inside an actual lobby. Now they faced it. Now moving inside in the second map of Erangel on day 1. This is their second chance to try and perform well. Do you think are they going to be one of those teams that's going to surprise you inside this Erangel, or are you just going to be seeing the same consistency from the well-known teams?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because the stream is on like a 15-minute delay, and we are going to be playing 3 Erangels every single day. I think after the match, it's very easy for, say, the team captain or the team IGL to quickly go back, watch the footage, and try to adapt on the fly from game 1 to 3.
Ooh.
Say game 1 Erangel, they drop somewhere, it didn't work out in their favor. They got cut off on a rotate. They can easily go back in the footage right now and see, okay, what team goes here, what team goes there, and maybe proactively avoid certain situations or proactively take on certain situations. And I think you talked about it in the pre-show, and you said it's going to be all about those teams that can adapt quickly on the fly. I think
Mhm.
that's a great point, and hopefully we
Yeah.
see some of these teams do just that here in this game.
Oh man, this game's going to mean quite a lot to a lot of teams, right? Third game of the day on day 1. As I mentioned, on day 1, if you're able to kick things off really well, then in the future, that's going to help you quite a lot on the upcoming days because you don't have a lot of days, only 3 days, 5 games per day. So time will be slipping by quite quickly.
Time is slipping into the future. Match number 3 here. Erangel, the plane path, a solid one. We saw game number 1. We saw 100 troubles drop Stalber. Looks like this plane path is going to be favoring that drop spot once again. And kind of on the flip note of teams being proactive, Stalber, that is like an obvious drop spot, right? Like that teams are going to immediately look for. And I'm really curious if other squads are going to try to maybe even gatekeep 100 troubles, knowing that they do drop all the way up there. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. So maybe looking some teams
Mhm.
dropping military bases as well. Do we have 1, 2? I see Lotus down there.
Ooh, they're going for no reply. Just kind of gave me a little flashbacks of Stalwart Esports. But we don't need to talk about it right now. Talk about
We
it
don't.
some other day.
Well, you don't want to talk about it.
I mean, we can. Oh, are we going to see a military circle? Talking about Stalwart Esports, if you remember the first game of Erangel on the PMGC was a military circle. But honestly, I don't think so. The chances of it shifting down all the way south are quite low.
I'm looking at teams here. I'm really liking the Hitlist. We can see them over there on that west bridge. I'm just looking at the zone, and they have it all to themselves. Like they have easy pickings right? They could decide where they want to loot, where they want to go, and the Hitlist, they might even have an opportunity here towards the late early game to mid game to maybe even bridge camp. Maybe. Because if I'm Lotus, if I'm Ogilvy, thinking about the plane path, you have to already have in your mind there's going to be a ton of teams out there on that east side. So, say the zone does not favor the military base, that west bridge is going to be their best friend. So, the hit list,
Mm.
keep your eye on them here this game because I really like their position as of right
I
now.
mean, only if the circle moves down south, though. Then their position can be really instrumental. But if it doesn't, then Hitlist will need to move in forward. Again, overall, the position is pretty good. It just really comes down to where the circle is going to be taking a shift, right? That's where, or at least that's what's going to be deciding their fate. If the circle does move down south, Hitlist are actually going to be hitting a lot of teams from their list. But yeah, for now, as always,
Hey, I
things
like
are
what you
going to
did.
start pretty slow.
I like what you did right there. The hit list. Gonna be checking off names of their list. I see what you did. I like that. Real quick, shout out to We Play Games in the the YouTube chat right here, and shout out to everybody. Alex in there. We got Frenchie, Courtney, a lot of people watching right now. Shout out to you. Let us know in the chat, in the YouTube chat, who are you rooting for? Like, who are you cheering for? I see Viper Sniper rooting for 100 Trouble. Actually saying 100 Trouble is going to win this game. Well, that's a spicy take. That's a hot take right there.
Maybe
That's
this
a hot
man's
one.
into astrology, dude. Maybe he can see the future. Never know, man. Maybe you have potential astrologists in the chat as well that was just able to predict the future, what's going to happen. But yeah, overall, now Ogilvy. Now you also need to understand getting your control onto the big drop spots like Pachinki, military base, school, or at least the areas nearby school. Getting your hands onto them can already tell what kind of a team you are and what kind of confidence you're showing inside the game. So Ogilvy, confidence. If you talk about that, check it up there because confidence is definitely looking really great, but they're just not able to turn that confidence into an actual good game.
You don't think so? You don't think confidence equals good game? That's an
I mean,
interesting, it's an interesting
it's like
conversation.
I do understand. Yeah, if you just have confidence, it's understandable. But if you're just not able to utilize the confidence in the right way, then it's of no use.
I feel like you only have confidence if you're popping off, though, right? Or
You
am I
might just
wrong?
have confidence if you just don't care as well.
False confidence. That's what you don't
Mm.
want. So
Mm.
I guess that's what we'll call it here. And if I'm one of these teams and I'm coming in this match, map number 3, with confidence, I have to say that's going to be the Chosen. I have to say that's going to be Vamp and even TacoLovers. Those 3 teams are at the top of the standings after only 2 games. And well, game number 1, Lotus, they were showing confidence. They were popping off. They had a ton of elim points. But then game number 2 kind of sizzled out here. So you see Lotus right now. It looks like they're going to be setting up a little bridge camp here on that east bridge. But not all their teammates are here prepared to defend what's to come.
But the problem is Trey's kind of lacking on meds. That's not a good news. Only 5 bandages, 1 first aid kit, and there's only 1 booster in his packet. I don't like that. He's not really looking that comfortable with the position that he's found himself in. Yeah, he's going for a little bit of safer play on the bridge. He's trying to scout it out as well. If he does see some teams trying to move on in, he will potentially try to shut him down. But Team Chosen, they're being really proactive. They're getting ready. If things do shift down south, Team Chosen will have a little jet ski to work with.
Thing is, only 2 squad mates can get on that bad boy. So who do you leave behind? Who do you leave behind?
One man can just be the Uber driver.
Shuttle them back and forth. That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. So looking at the Chosen's position, I really do like what you called out there and pointed out. But I think other teams are also going to have that idea, right? I could see Katalysts not too far, about 300 meters from the Chosen. So Katalysts, one of these teams that really haven't been popping off here in the first 2 games. They're going to really need to tighten up here. And if there was a team that I would try to avoid, it would be the Chosen here, just based off of their performance here so far.
And look at this, 100T. Making quite a bold rotation happen. K19 spotting that rotation out. K19, it seems like they have found themselves a safe spot, at least for now. But again, if things, as I mentioned, if the circle does shift down south, this is where K19 will have a lot of troubles knocking their doors. So not really being that proactive, K19. You need to be ready for the worst case scenarios.
There's 100 troubles here. Having more than 100 troubles. I'm going to say 101 just because these zones haven't really been favoring him here tonight. And Sixless in the Dacia. Ooh, popping some wheels. I do like the Dacia skin. They are going to be just south of Farm. HQA right beneath them. HQA, we saw last game. We saw Tiny Pig. We saw Sup Pig putting in some work. And Sixless going to be honking the horns here of the Dacia. Already with the pop tire, kind of, to me, that's kind of poking the bear down there of HQA, looking for a fight. I mean, what's your take on that, Necro? Honking the horn? Come on, you're honking the horn.
Yeah, it's kind of like teasing the teams, right? It's trying to like provoke them. It's like, hey, come take some shots at me.
Yeah. You won't.
But none of them are, yeah, no one's close to him, so no one's probably hearing the sound as well from the horn, so it's fine. Even if he's just running around horning with his buggy or horning with his Dacia, no one's hearing, no one's around him to actually hear that come through. But yeah, Thirdeye, another one of those teams that I am going to be eyeing out for, Dave, because in the first game they looked quite promising.
You're eyeing out for Thirdeye. So
I mean, I'm eyeing out for a lot of teams.
That makes them the fourth eye then.
Ooh.
Some would say.
Honestly, they should have their team name as Fourth Eye because they have four players in the team, right? But circle shift down south, and that's a huge shift. And now this is where the hit list are going to start hitting the teams.
Yeah, this is what we were kind of rooting for here when we saw the zone number 1, the hit list. They've been pretty much camping this west bridge since the drop, since the drop. But on the opposite end of the bridge, you are going to have Vamp. And although I do think Vamp can kind of hold down that north side of the bridge and kind of wait for teams like Pro Era, S7 to rotate past them and try to get some elite points, it's going to be a challenge. And talk about a challenge. LeveLx out here doing the same thing, but on the opposite bridge, Necro.
Ooh, HQA in the front. LeveLx, as you mentioned, yeah. Able to catch a man slipping by. Mistakes being punished by them. LeveLx looking really good. HQA as well. They have a successful bridge camp setup coming through. They're just waiting for LeveLx to walk right into the trap. And if they, as soon as they do, HQA will just strike in and try and get those points in their hands. Something, quite a bold rotation from his side. Gotta say, man's got nerves of steel for doing that.
And the thing is, with HQA, if they do get pressured from LeveLx or the Chosen from the north, Lotus is beneath them. So Trey, we saw Trey earlier on. Trey has been holding down that position for some time now. So HQA really looking to possibly get sandwiched here on the bridge.
Ooh. LeveLx though. Look at Logan. He's such a happy man after finding that initial kill.
Whoa!
Was able to
what was that?
Just find that slip pass by
Jason.
Oh, did he just find 2 openings? And yes, he did. The hit list, it seems like I thought they were looking really good, really promising inside this game. But somewhere down the line, that all it took was that one little nade and 2 men easily being shut down. Godblade and Iconic out the equation now. The hit list left with only 2 players alive. And it's Ogilvy just doing so much damage onto them. Glint follows it up as well. And now the last man alive, just muting them up.
Yeah, looks like the hit list decided not to camp that west bridge. Instead, they tried to do some scouting, tried to reposition to a compound, and it looks like just crashing into the wrong building. Ogilvy, we're already defending, we're already holding down, and well, that was kind of a blessing for other teams because the hit list, they had a great position for that west bridge, but because they did move out, that allowed F7 and TacoLovers to freely make their way across that bridge for the time being. So very interesting call from the hit list, who have pretty much been in this area since the drop to not hold it down like I expected them to.
Oh man, Jason on the tear against them. Seems like it's a Friday night.
It is. It is Friday, right?
It is, right? I'm
It's
not
Friday.
sure. It is.
It's one of
It
those
is Saturday
days.
for me. I'm in the
Ooh.
future.
He's in the future.
Mhm.
Well, can you predict Jat G's placement points this game then if you are in the future? Does Jat G survive this?
Yes, he does. He does. He does survive this.
You're saying Jat G gets second place?
Nah, I'm not really sure. You know, honestly, I just don't want to spoil the game for the viewers as well, so I'm not going to open my
Thank you.
mouth and
Okay,
moving it
thank you.
forward. Yeah, I respect
appreciate
it, man. Look at Team Chosen, all the way in the center of the zone. Look at that, looking so good, right? The position that they found themselves in, it's just so it's gonna be so instrumental. The stars going to align as the time passes by as well, and as Wall of Death starts to close in, LeveLx will also have a lot of pressure on their shoulders or on their heads, lingering around. Oh, there is a little bit of trouble for them, and it's going to be 100 troubles, just bringing in a lot of troubles.
A lot of
Look at
troubles
man.
coming on now. A lot
Look
of
at the
troubles for
separation.
all these teams because the
Yeah.
next zone didn't favor them, and Lotus have been down there on the military base for some time, and Lotus obviously in the better position out of all these teams. You got LeveLx, you got 100 troubles, you got Thirdeye, you got 19E, you got GameChangers, HTV. There's about 5 different squads out here on this east side, and out of all these teams, Lotus really in the strongest position. It looks like 100 Troubles doing everything in their power to avoid that bridge at all cost. Going to be sending it into the water. Going to be looking to swim across the channel, and it might just work out. But behind them, Thirdeye. Thirdeye might have that fourth eye and might spot him out. And, well, to me, that looks like some free points swimming out there.
Ooh, there was a boat right behind them as well for LeveLx. Now, LeveLx can try and go for a little bit of more safer approach inside the game unless they just want to go for the kill points. And Thirdeye trying to be the spawn sport over here, just trying to spoil 100T's game. They just want to blow this boat away, and that's what they exactly do. 100T, they're going to be having a little sad faces after that. But instead, no, they're just going for the swimways. They did try to go for the boat, but they did realize maybe the 100T was maybe Thirdeye was right at the back, and that's what exactly happened. 100T just have their spidey senses tingling.
Honestly, Thirdeye, they saw some swimmers out there, right? To me, they should be doing everything in their power to try to take them out. Like, when you're swimming, you can't shoot back. Yeah, exactly. You can't shoot back. So those are just 4 points in my eyes for days. And Thirdeye, they're playing really passive in that situation. On the flip of that, well, not playing passive, LeveLx, they don't have a choice. They look like they committed a lot of resources to this bridge push. So let's see if Trey can hold it down.
This nade can be huge though, but it doesn't matter. It's LeveLx Logan, who just straight up opts out to just jump his weaker right underneath the bridge. Lotus, they're just raining down death and destruction on all these teams. And no, the dossier gets stuck. Unfortunately, the man will also go down to the fall damage, and the wall of death also just taking a little bit more damage off onto his HP bar. Such an unfortunate out of circumstances for that human being right there. Feels so bad for him. Lotus successfully able to bridge camp him away and also able to rack those kills up. LeveLx got their game spoiled just because of that one little mistake.
Oh, man. And not only that, like, I think if I have to rewatch the replay, but I think they got taken out because they jumped out, right? And they took that damage from jumping down. So,
yeah. I feel like he should have jumped down. I mean, it was pretty much like a gone case anyways, but he should have taken his final chances. But I guess for him, the final chances were meant to be taken that way. But Russell in the front of LeveLx now, another level of difficulty they will have to go through to try and survive from this situation. LeveLx, it's just waves after waves they're facing now. And it seems like the trouble is not going to be stopping anytime soon. A beautiful nade from 100T. It's going to connect right onto him.
That's good. That's good. LeveLx, though, definitely not catching any luck here with that bridge rotate, losing 2 of their squad mates, jumping down right there from the Lotus Bridge camp. And 100 Troubles, talk about a play, talk about making a play happen, swimming across that channel. The timing was just perfect, and they were able to get some additional loot on top of that one. That one swim, that's going to net them some solid placement points here, in my opinion. Like, that was the play right there.
That was indeed the play.
That was the
The
play.
plays
That was a
on,
good play
yeah.
from them.
That was an insane play. The nade coming through just to shut things down. And look at this now. Game changer Coldy, even though he doesn't really have a lot of HP to favor himself with, only has 15 bandages, so he can try and tape himself up. But is he going to be doing so? That's the question. Coldy being spot out, and he will be taken care of easily. Didn't really have a lot of HP to work with, so only one bullet will seal the deal onto him. That's what exactly happens. Lotus, they do have Salt down, but that shouldn't really be that big of a deal for them. And look at this. Team all the way to far fray being spotted. Well, Thirdeye were making things quite tough for 100 Troubles, and now it's their chance to cause a little bit of trouble for Thirdeye.
Yeah, and Lotus kind of coming back to their form, like we saw in game number 1. They already got 9 elim points this game, and they're not done yet, right? They got 4 up. Yeah, one of them was knocked just a moment ago, but it looks like Salt did play that medic role and get that pickup on their teammate. So looks like Lotus is going to be pulling back, though, not looking to get involved with this 100 Troubles kind of beach camp out here. And 100 Troubles, once again, it goes back to that decision to swim across that channel early compared to playing it nice and slow and late. That channel swim was able to get them on the beach, was able to get them 3 elim points, and now they're in the advantage position to other teams who chose to swim late.
12 teams alive.
And they're doing it good. They're doing a good job. Like, they're taking full advantage of it. Like, they're not playing passive. They're not hiding. They're not snaking. They're popping up, and they're getting these easy elim points on these swimmers who have no option. They can't respond back when you're swimming.
The only thing they can do is just try and find a temporary cover inside the water, or maybe just go underneath the water. But still, you cannot really stay underneath the water for a really long time because you're going to run out of breath. HTV having all 4 players up. So this time, that's going to be quite a good news for them. They're going to be a happy bunch. But K19 is right in the back, and they will need to watch out from a team like K19. I do like the separation coming out from HTV, but the problem is now 100T as well will need to move in. That means teams like teams that are right in the front, it's going to be Team Chosen. They will have a little bit of problem to worry about from the back. They will need to spread out their eyes.
Yeah, I can see 100 Troubles rotating along the blue into Lotus, honestly. I can see them doing that, but we'll see. They look like they're, yep, they're doing just that, actually. And Lotus in the defense position might be able to catch that rotate across the way and get a nice spray down on those vehicles. So we'll have to pay attention to the kill feed because just popping over here on that west side, looks like Ogilvy catching some static out here. And I can see down there in the distance, Vamp, once again on the move, on the approach, looking to get some additional elim points.
Look at that, 87. Oh, no. Such a risky rotation, and they will have to pay the price for that. Risk might not work out all the time. It's called risk for a reason. It's a huge gamble you're taking. Without having any kind of info to work with, you're just going to send it like that. It's not going to work out. Maybe if you're lucky enough, teams wouldn't have caught you there, but there were just so many teams in the late zone. You will have to expect these kind of threats lingering around this late in the game. In F7, they're just being shut down. One after the other, and now they're left with only one last man alive to work with. They only have 3 elim points in their hands, Dave.
Yeah, that's definitely like, hey, fellas, best of luck. YOLO, send it, try to survive. And looks like they lost 3 out of that whole process. One of them is still going to be alive, Law, dead center. So hopefully they can just snake it and survive. 11 teams to go here. About 20 minutes in this game. Jet G, though, going to be compromised. We can see the backpack, we can see the toes, and Echo taking them down and out. 8 elim points on Ogilvy, 9 elim points on Lotus, 4 on the Chosen. So those top 3 teams right now still healthy too. Coming into this late game, still the full team alive.
Looking pretty good. Ogilvy, as you mentioned, looking so good and promising inside this lobby. As I mentioned, taking control of an area like military base, that in itself means quite a lot. That in itself shows the confidence your team has. And Ogilvy able to deliver finally, and this is what I wanted to see since a long time. But plays on as well, doing a lot of damage on the players of Thirdeye. They're just being held off at bay. It's hard for them to move inside, and that's what exactly is happening. Take a look at the minimap. TacoLovers will need to move inside. Faker is inside that little visitor tavern, is also going to be taking a lot of damage from the wall of death. And he's also being slowly and steadily flushed out of this Wizard Tower.
Yeah, and kind of going back to Ogilvy, like, they're kind of sandwiched right now, right? They're sandwiched between the TacoLovers to the north and Vamp to the south, so they're going to have to really thread the needle here and try to avoid these sightlines at all costs with 7 other teams still alive, because if they send it straight ahead, I think they might run into HTV. Yeah, they have a buggy to work with, but the next zone did not favor them. So I'm really curious to see what Ogilvy decides to do, because if they wrap around the south, they're going to have to run into Vamp. They're going to have to run into HTV. They're going to have to run into 19 or K19. So there's just a lot of roadblocks ahead of them right now for Team Ogilvy.
Talk about roadblocks ahead of them. Ogilvy slowly and steadily moving in. Vamp this time, they have a casualty on their name. Rage peeks out in the open. And Jason, as I mentioned, it's the Friday night, so that's why Jason as well is in his prime. Ogilvy's just looking really good. And look at that quick frag coming in from the side of DK. Instant confirmation there as well. Another man just proning out in the open like that. Jason moves out in the open. He just has no fear.
Jason really been that clutch player here tonight for Ogilvy. Oh, Echo catching a nade to the dome right there from Decay. We saw Decay last game as well. One of these players from K19 able to survive, play that sneaky role, and really catch their opponents off guard. Echo might be able to get picked up, but Decay trying to close the gap. M16 in hand. Oh man, right on top of Ogilvy. Gonna be tossing a smoke on top of them? Okay. If they had a molly, that would be huge right now. 6 teams to go, Necro.
6 teams to go. Make it 5. F7 falls down finally. The final man has been put down. 6 feet under. Ogilvy, they're just looking so good. They're just dominating the entire lobby. And look at this.
Oof.
Barrel with a suppressor. Interesting thing. Haven't really seen that pretty much in decades now at this point. Ogilvy, Jason. Yep, it's been a long time, dude. Haven't really seen a barrel with a suppressor. Come on, that has to be one of those things that has to stand out for you at this point. But look at this. God G able to find an opening from Team Chosen, and Ogilvy mute goes down. That's not going to be good news for Ogilvy, because Chosen now, it seems like they're looking to tear Ogilvy apart.
Yeah, you say Ogilvy, though. I'm looking at Jason. 6 elim points so far. Jason just kind of running out there in the open, trying to get behind this boulder for cover. Nice little lean peek with the UMP. We talk about confidence all the time. Jason definitely showing that confidence. 14 elim points right now for Ogilvy.
Oh my God.
They lost 2 in the process, but they are not done yet. They're within grenade range of the Chosen. One nice grenade, one nice molly from Echo could really seal the deal for the Chosen. But the Chosen, well, they have an answer in return, and it's going to be Fan, going to be cooking this one, going to be tossing this one, but Echo was traded on before that grenade can even get close to him.
Oh, beautiful nade. Echo's taken down quite low, and now the only man for Ogilvy left alive. It's going to be Jason to try and hold things off over here. Oh, another nade quite close. Jason, just like the presence of mind Jason's showing, even though he realizes this can be an easy rest for his teammate, instead prioritizes to fight over here, and beautiful pre-fires coming in from the side of Land. That's going to be connecting right onto Jason's head, and now Jason being shut down. Beautifully played that fight to Chosen, but still got to give props to the Ogilvy. The way they were able to play, 22 points in total secured.
That's going to shoot him up the overall leaderboards, like confirmed. 22 points, 4th place. That's huge. Lotus over here, they've been playing this east side for some time. Well, they managed to keep all 4 up. A couple moments ago, they had a 2-2 split. They had a duo looking up there to the north, a duo looking down there to the south. Looks like this next zone kind of forced them to play a little more grouped up here. 3 teams to go. Fans still popping off here on the opposite end, though. Looks like everybody has HTV in their crosshairs.
Oh no, HTV is one of the teams that really does go for those safer plays. And consistency is what they're really eyeing out for still. The first 2 games weren't really able to find the consistency. Maybe the 3rd game they'll probably be able to win this. They only have 1 elim points in the hand. Team Chosen as well being taken care of with 9 elim points. And now it's down to these 2 teams live. Lotus with 13 kills, HTV with only 1 in their hands. What's going to happen? What's going to be the outcome? That's what I want to know, because HTV, they haven't really been challenging a lot of fight. Lotus already able to open the floodgates with that kill, and now they just have so much room to work with, and Lotus just like that, able to win that previous game with 31 freaking points, Dave. That's huge.
Yeah, look like UMP/M4 combo wombo right there. Hit fire at the end to kind of seal the deal, and Lotus using their numbers to their advantage, because we saw HTV kind of getting pinched from both angles, and the Chosen really applying a lot of damage and pressure to them right there. And, well, talking about damage and pressure, I'm sure the leaderboard's going to have some points that is going to be putting some pressure on these bottom teams here, Necro.
Oh, man, look at that. Lotus with those 31 points. Imagine the lead that they're going to gain. I mean, they're already on kind of like the top page over there. And with that 31 points, they might as well be on they might as well just top the charts. Ogilvy as well with those 22 points. That's going to help them catapult up the overall rankings quite well. The Chosen, just as always, going with the consistent performance. So it's going to be quite interesting, right? I do want to find out if Lotus have gotten themselves the first spot. The chances are pretty unlikely, because even the Chosen got themselves pretty much 19 points.
Yeah, I'm really liking the Lotus here so far tonight. Just based off the 3 games that we did see. But checking out the next page here, very curious as day 1. 2 more games to go. We get towards the end of day 1. These teams at the bottom of these pages consistently, they're going to have to really go back to the drawing board for day number 2 and try to come up with a new game plan, because you cannot afford to get these 0 points per game.
Oh, man. And HQA
You
this
just
time.
can't.
Look at HQA, dude. Look at Pro Era as well. LeveLx, Thirdeye. So many upsets. TacoLovers just having the first game, really good game. And then after that, they're not really able to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
What do you think, so?
Thirdeye.
What kind of how much rating would you give them in the momentum rating?
For Thirdeye, they definitely dropped the ball that last game, because remember, we had 100 troubles, 4 of them swimming out there. Thirdeye, they started to take some shots at them, but then pulled back. If I was the coach of that team, I'd be like, listen, we need to get these elim points. We need to get them. And talk about getting them, I think we might have a overall leaderboard. So maybe I'm being too harsh on Thirdeye. Maybe they're still up there kind of floating, but every single point matters. And to me, when I saw 100 troubles in the water, that was 4 points.
Oh.
That was 4 points. And, well, talking about 4 points, the Chosen had 54 points all the way at the top.
Look at Ogilvy as well, though, with 26 points. They've gotten themselves in the top 5 already. HTV, somewhere down line with the consistent performance, able to pay it off. But still, I feel like HTV, they need to start going for those elim points as well, because look at the KP that they have. Only 4, and then they're just like working on positioning points all over.
It's kind of nuts, right? Kind of nuts. Yeah. And talking about another team, TacoLovers, they had a great game. Number 1, we saw them second place, couple elim points. They're sliding down too, right? They are slowly sliding down this first page. And I think after day number 1, if you are in this mid-pack, like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th place, you're okay. You shouldn't be sweating too much, because the goal for the Pro League North American Qualifiers, top 8, that is the goal. So F70 Esports, they're at 23 points. Let's check out how many points 9th place has, right? Like, that's where I'm going to keep my eye on, like those teams on the cusp. So 23, and look at this. 9th place, 22, and then 21. So it is already starting to heat up to be quite the close battle for that 8th place spot.
Oh, man, things are really close, right? Even after the 8th spot. And keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. The goal is to get top 8. And that's what everyone's fighting for. Top 8, and that means you'll be making it to PMPL NA in the future. But yeah, HQA as well, just on 21 points. And then Pro Era, not really far behind with 18 points. So things are looking quite close. And the top 8 is definitely going to be one of those things that has to be some of the most closest competitions we've ever witnessed.
Yeah, with Miramar, Erangel, 2 more matches to go. Katalysts, LeveLx, GameChangers. We need to pop off somehow. We need to get that confidence, that wind in our sails flowing once again. Now, we got a couple more games to go, so you definitely have the opportunity to do just that. But before we get that, ladies and gentlemen, quick break. When we come back, Miramar, don't go anywhere. What is up, Pro League North America Qualifiers? Bow, bow, bow. We're about 3 games deep, 2 more to go, Necro. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. Wow.
Miramar, man. Miramar is all I'm going to say. That's a huge change in the pace now. We did see
Let's
the
go.
smallest map, and now we have Miramar coming in. Let's see how things are going to be looking like over here. All these teams, of course. Now, Miramar over here, for some teams, it's definitely going to be a little tough to adapt. But for some teams, I'm pretty sure they are quite used to this kind of a map to play inside this big of a stage. So, do you want to see how the teams that are pretty much new in the pro league, how they're going to be adapting to against the teams that have already played over here?
That's the name of the game. Adapting on the fly as we go, learning from the previous game, any mistakes that might have been made, and also learning from anything that went well, right? Like maybe call outs, the team comms, or certain drop spots, because with only 15 games in total, right? We got 12 more to go. After these next 12 matches, 8 teams advance to PMPL, and there's a lot on the line. Necro, you and I, we were had the pleasure to work and cast the PMGC, and during the PMGC, the grand finals, it was announced that the prize pool this coming year is even bigger than last
Damn.
year. So there's just so much money in the prize pool to be had, to be won this year, that I definitely understand why all these players are going to be putting it all on the line here in this tournament to make it to that next stage. There's a lot.
There's also an interesting question that I'm wondering. Okay, Dave. So, wait, a lot much more prize pool. So, do you think so? That much more added prize pool also adds a little bit of more pressure on the player's mentality, or no?
I think so, for sure, because last year the prize pool, life-changing money, right? Of course, it could change your life, your family's life, but now this year's prize pool, it changes your life, your family's life, their extended family's life, their friends, your mailman's life. It changes everybody's life involved, right? Because there's just so much. Like, I mean, that's what I'm hyped up for. When they said the cash prize pool is going to be even bigger, like way bigger, I was like, oh man, okay. Um, so yeah, I think there is a lot of pressure to
10 millions?
perform. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure to perform at your best, the best, your highest levels of your capabilities here. So the competition this year is going to be steep. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a challenge. And I'm just happy that you and I were here right now, right? Because this is honestly the beginning of that competition. Like, this is stage
Yeah.
number 1, right? Like, this is where it all
Yeah, this is the
starts.
grassroots level right here. This is the grassroots level right here. This is where the teams are going to start rising from. But yeah, classic Miramar Circle, nothing really crazy seen just yet. Look at this.
Oh, this is crazy.
It's showtime, baby. Katalysts just trying to pull off some shenanigans. Oh, gotta be careful there. Kodo almost slipped off. But finally, okay, Katalyst. Things are looking stabilized now.
Yeah, so you can actually, I believe, do this with a Dacia and a buggy as well. I've been practicing that myself, like in my public matches. Say there would be like a teammate that's just kind of standing around. I'll go pick them up, right? I'll go pick them up and drive them all over the place like a nice little hood ornament. And my idea is, hey, you'll probably get shot before I get shot, the driver. So little bodyguard action there too. And that strategy that we just saw right there from Katalysts, we kind of saw it develop last year, where a couple of these players, they wanted to go on a rotate, but they didn't have the vehicles to do so. So you know what? They said, listen, partner, jump on the hood. I gotcha. Just, hold on tight. Hold on tight. And I just love to see these kind of new plays, new strategies evolve here with these pro players, right? Because these pro players, they put in so much game time that they know the ins and the outs and the
Oh yeah,
little secrets of the game,
yeah, yeah. They definitely do know the nooks and crannies of the game. Each and every single mechanic, how to abuse it, how not to do it. Each and every single thing, man. That's why they're called pros for a reason, right? They're just good at everything what they do in that particular game. But now we have Team Chosen again, just off the bat, ripping teams apart. And this time it's Pro Era. Caspers again falls down. It's the first man to fall down, and Team Chosen able to kick things off with pretty well in the Miramar.
Yeah, this is like off center, graveyard, pretty center to our circle number 1. The Chosen. This is a team that if I'm one of these squads that haven't really been popping off here yet so far today, this is going to be a team that I make sure to try to avoid, right? And you can easily do that on Erangel because we do play 3 a day. So you can easily go back, watch the footage, and kind of get a good feel on their play style, their drop spots. And I've already started to develop a nice understanding of their gameplay. They like to play 3-1 all the time, always with Landland playing that off angle, kind of that spoiler role. And, well, that's exactly what they're doing right here as they make this push onto Pro Era.
Oh, exactly. That's what they're doing. See the other man as well with Weekle from Team Chosen, just trying to get the high ground. Just kind of like a drone view on this entire fight. If he does see one man slipping by from the enemy team, he's not going to let him slip by for sure. But Pro Era, already they have a casualty on their name. Now left with only 3 players to work with. The Chosen, yeah, they're definitely being really aggressive, but they need to be careful that they should not just walk into the enemy crosshairs just like that. Flash has the AK in the close range, and he can definitely decimate quite a lot of things, but a beautiful shoulder peek coming out from his side as well. And now Flash finds the opening, looking to find another one. The confirmation is still not there yet.
Oof. Pan all the way back there, too. Playing that oversight, but really pan that angle. The Chosen inside the complex. Like, you're not going to have sightlines on this at all. And I think Pan kind of finding out firsthand as we do see Pan trying to group up with her teammates. But at the very end, saying, psych, you got taken out. I think the call now is to get as far away from this as possible and just go for those placement points. Best case scenario.
Those placement points is... Consistency is what will really matter, especially don't really have a lot of days to work with, not really a lot of games to play as well. So consistency is what teams really need. And so far, some of the teams, they are able to be consistent, but there's a lot of teams that they're just getting a pop-off game, and then after that, they're just fading away. So those are one of those things that teams should try and avoid. But even the Chosen, they were taking a lot of fights, and some are down line in those fights. They also got a casualty onto themselves, so now they're a 3-man squad. But Miramar is quite a huge map, so the Chosen will have a decent amount of time to work around with it.
The Chosen have 12 more points over Lotus in second place coming in this map. And Pro Era, they're in 11th position, 18 total points. Remember, that 8th place spot, 23 points. So Pro Era, not too far behind, right? Not too far behind. Just close enough. But honestly, if they were to get taken out this early, they would get 0 points in total. So I do like the call to have Pan kind of just snake it out, go for those placement points, and just try to keep up, maintain. Even 2 points this game, in my eyes, will help them maintain. But, ooh, look at that, though, out there in the distance. Looks like Landland get caught slipping. But the Chosen, we talked about it a couple games ago. They're such a good team at being able to play that medic role and get the resets, the pickups on their teammates. They don't let any teammate just bleed on out. Like, they make sure to devote some type of resources to get the reset, and I do appreciate that.
Exactly. Landland was being knocked out there, but Poppy's there to patch his teammate up. It's going to be doing so. Pro Era left with only one last man alive. Not a good news for that team. Do you want to see where the next circle is going to be heading? Because this was pretty standard circle. Again, nothing really crazy happening. A pretty standard shift. But again, this is going to be an interesting one because the center of the circle is quite out in the open near La Bandita. So I do want to see what's going to be happening or how teams are going to be playing around the mountains.
I guess some interesting things we can look at here is the GameChangers. So we can see them over there at water treatment. This is a team that I've noticed that they like to play slow. They like to play from the edge. Oh, I was listening to that music real quick. But when we look at the overall leaderboards, they're in 14th place with only 7 total points, right? So it hasn't really been working for them this slow playing late strategy.
There we go, though. Lotus able to kick things off. Finding 2 opening frags, now almost looking to get the 3rd one. Man's down quite low. It's Glass who barely survives on a sliver of health, but still is able to make it back to safety. And guess what? The team that was having a real good game at the last time, this time they're just being shut down, and it's Ogilvy. Somewhere down line, the struggle is clearly being shown. And Glass now trying to fight back. He finds the opening, trying to confirm the kill, being a little too greedy, taking a lot of shots on himself. Salt from the back will just seal the deal. And Ogilvy, this time, early in the game, they're going to fall down.
And look at that collapse, too, from Lotus. Like, from all angles. You had one teammate coming in from that hill. You had one coming in from the backside, inside the building. Like, Glass had nowhere to go. Hats off to Glass, though, right? Glass did try to get the confirm, the elim point, but the support right there from the squad mates of Lotus, it didn't give Glass the time needed to get that flush. So the teamwork right there is just on point so far for Lotus, and that's why we see Lotus 2nd place so far after 3 matches.
As you mentioned, Lotus, yeah, looking really good and still able to find themselves 4 elim points with not even taking a single casualty on their name. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Pro Era and Ogilvy already taken out the game. Ogilvy, with that previous game, we did see themselves catapult up all the way to top 5, and now getting taken out this early in the game of Miramar, that's going to hurt them quite a lot. I also did some bolt action sniper in the kill feed. I want to see that.
And kind of going back to just like missed opportunities right there. So Lotus, they did have one of their teammates knocked out, right? They were inside the building. They were getting the revive. But on the other side of the hill, we saw Thirdeye. Thirdeye, they were 3rd party in that fight just a little bit. And they pulled off that one. So I really feel like for Thirdeye, all things considered, they're in 13th position. I feel like that was a missed opportunity for them to work their way down that hill and kind of collapse onto Lotus, who I feel like would have 1000% been caught off guard right there in that push. So missed opportunity, I feel like, again, for Thirdeye.
Indeed, a missed opportunity, but it's fine. Still got a little bit more time to work with for themselves. But next circle shift, where is it going to shift? The chances of it shifting out in the open are quite huge, and that's what's probably going to happen. And I actually was about to say, like, I'm not even lying, I was about to say maybe the circle will shift top left near Graveyard, and that's what exactly happened.
Well, I'm looking at the GameChangers because they had a prime position to make their way into Graveyard last zone, but instead decided to go a little more out there to that east side, and now it looks like 100 Troubles are going to be able to leapfrog them. So GameChangers might be pulling up right behind 100 Troubles, might be able to get into a skirmish here, as both teams might be opting to kind of look for that same compound all the way at the tip of the zone to the north. But the majority of the squads, I have to say, down here to the south, you got LeveLx, you got Katalysts, you got K19, Lotus. So might see some squad fights here shortly, Necro.
There we go, though. The bolt action just kicks in through. Just able to crack some skulls open. We're not really able to see those skulls being cracked open, though. I do want to see some crispy headshots. But here we do have K19 Esports. A little too late to react, and Iconics will be shut down. Oh, no. Unfortunate. HTV, one of those teams that is really going for those consistent placement points this time. They needed a challenge of fighting for this compound, and that's what they exactly did. Lotus now looking to take down F7 in the front. F7's looking pretty defensive. What's going on over here? Chronic. Oh.
New strat, who it is. We talk about these new strats, man.
Interesting. I guess it's a new strat now. But yeah, F7 taking a lot of damage onto themselves. Lotus has lost Chronic already, so that's not going to be a good news for them. F7 trying their best to deal as much as damage as possible. F7, all they need is another knockout just to handicap Lotus big time. But still, Lotus is one of those teams that they have the bolt action in their hands, and if they're able to connect those shots, then F7 will be in huge trouble.
Yeah, and the thing is with S7, Nesquik is like 300 meters away from this whole fight. So yeah, they might have a bolt here or whatnot, but that's just going to be a challenge for, I feel like F7, if Lotus did get an opening knock, right? Like Lotus, they might have pushed that. They might have pushed that. I know they lost Chronic in the mix, and well, looks like that wasn't the case here. They are going to be pulling back, but unfortunate for Lotus, they're working their way right towards HTV as I'm looking at the mini map. And back to this fight up here to the north that we kind of talked about a moment ago. The potential for skirmishes. Yeah, looks like 100 troubles were able to leapfrog the GameChangers, take this building, this warehouse for themselves, and now they're in a prime position over here to possibly gatekeep the GameChangers.
100 troubles do realize there's a lot of trouble in the front, and that's why they have their eyes trained right in the back. But again, you got to always realize you're not tunnel visioning yourself onto a single team. GameChangers, as you mentioned, they dropped into water treatment, rotated all the way out there, and now they have to pretty much go back inside the zone. But Lotus, they're also taking a lot of damage from HTV. HTV is one of those teams, as I mentioned, they like to go for the safer place, but this time, the pressure is way much more on Lotus because the Wall of Death is just dealing so much damage. Look at the amount of damage being chipped onto themselves. Lotus, they will have to go for a heal over here, and there's no way Trey's going to be able to get the fallen man back up.
Yeah, Lotus, just nowhere to go, right? They had the option to go through F7. They decided to pull off that one because they did lose one, and just unlucky for them to run into HTV. So really just stuck out here. Trey, the solo dolo, just trying to continue to carry that baton here and get those placement points. But Thirdeye, okay, I said missed opportunity earlier on for Thirdeye. Well, let's see if they can clutch this one out, Necro.
Oh man, clutching this one out. With just two players in the back, that's going to be a little questionable, huh? But even if they do manage to pull it off, that's going to be huge. Law finds the opening kill, and now Law looking to find another one. Thirdeye, talk about missed opportunities. If they do miss this kind of an opportunity, that's going to be a little problem. But F7, they have a casualty on their name, but they might just try and bounce back. A beautiful jiggle movement coming out from the side of Kunjdan. Able to catch another man. Another man taking out the equation for F7. Law now is the only man left to keep things alive for his team. He's the only alive man, the only lifeline left for F7. And he will also be taken out. And now it's just the final man left alive for F7. And he's really far away, nowhere close to where the fight was going on. Taking things really safe and calm. He's just going to take his own time, and he's going to be probably going for this placement points.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Kunjdan just destroyed him right there. Just destroyed him with that off angle down there on the low ground of that hill. So that was something else to witness. And they have an MG3 to work with too moving forward. But over here, K19, we got DK on the roof looking for these sightlines. We got Boom!
Oh, that
window. Oh, caught
oh,
the
it does.
stir right there. Lean peeking. If there's one player that you need to watch out for these grenades, the golden arm, I'm going to call it, it has been Boom here tonight.
Skirt being boomed away. Oh, that was a beautiful nade from Boom. Yeah, that was just an insane nade from Boom. HTV now looking to capitalize on that exact fact, but K19, oh man, did lose out on a player, and now the team Thirdeye. Kunjdan falls down. That's not going to be good news for Thirdeye, but still Peaceful is down quite low. He's going to be patching himself back up. That's the only first aid he had in his backpack being used. That's quite a huge investment, and now Peaceful will need to make sure that he's not taking heavy amount of damage onto himself. If he does, that's going to be putting himself in such an uncomfortable spot, and K19 will just be able to punish Team Thirdeye.
I'm looking at Jazz.
A little safe. Yeah, HTV as well is right there.
Yeah, Jazz has the MG3, though. I want to see Jazz just let that thing rip, that light machine gun, especially in this situation. Oh, here it is, up close and personal. See ya. The MG3, that has to be my favorite weapon in PUBG Mobile right now. And now it's up to DK. What can DK do from K19?
There we go. The rotations all the way out in the open. Look at TacoLovers. Definitely do have the nerves of steel. They just don't care about the outcome. All they want to do is just secure that spot inside the zone. Do like the mentality, but most of the times it's not going to work out unless if you have a proper scout. And it seemed like for that particular situation, they did have one. Thirdeye moving in. Look at DK. He's just so hidden over there. He's like a ninja. He's just waiting for the right moment to strike, and as soon as he does, he's going to be a vicious man.
I don't know if they're going to strike, honestly. I think the play is to just remain undetected. Heal. 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 Hit the hill.
Move in the zone. DK, you're taking a lot of damage onto yourself. You don't even have a lot of first aid to work with. Finally uses that first aid. Goes to loot. Oh, wow. 4 more first aids. That's going to be helping him to buy so much more time for himself. 4 more first aid to work with. Eliminated is going to be Thirdeye. Thirdeye were looking quite promising inside the previous game. They were trying to challenge fights. They were definitely trying to amp things up when it comes to aggression level, but still not really working out quite that well. 9 teams alive with 28 players in total. Things are getting heated up, Dave.
Yeah, hey, respect to Thirdeye, though. Honestly, respect to Thirdeye this game. GG. I like the bus they were using, too. Sixless, okay, in the kill feed. Making some things happen out there. Oh, man, it looks like the GameChangers actually went around 100 trouble. So both those teams have kind of just been seesawing back and forth, and Sixless shut down right there in the open from GameChanger Zeus Jr.
Oh, man. GameChangers, as you mentioned. Look at that, though. Zeus JR, HP so low. A lot of these players, they just don't really have a lot of first aids to work with, Dave, and that's what it's kind of making me anxious.
And that was a huge win for GameChangers as well, because now they have the North. Nobody's near them, so they can relax, they can regroup and reset.
Oh, no.
Reckless, though. The last taco alive. Oh, no. And look who's over there. Sup Pig and Tiny Pig. You need to watch out for these 2 pigs because they are angry, they are hungry, and they're looking to take down the TacoLovers.
Oh, he's the only string alive for the team. Trying his best to keep the team together. Or more kind of like trying to carry the burden for the team. K19 Esports as well eliminated, and if things just keep going the same as they're going right now, it might just be Taco as well following the bandwagon, and that's what exactly happens. Reckless falls down. The damage from the Wall of Death was a little bit too much to withstand. Got taken out. HQA looking to at least cause a little bit of more trouble for all the teams in the lobby. They have found themselves a spot inside the zone, and now they're looking to just punish teams that are trying to make it in.
The Hitlist, wow, they have 3 vehicles and they position them in a certain way that blocks the sight lines from that trench, that valley right down there towards the low ground that teams from the west side might utilize to push up. So that's a 200 IQ player right there from the Hitlist. And yeah, it's actually going to be paying off in their favor because Vamp is going to be trying to breach their way on into the zone from that west side. So I'm really curious to see how the Hitlist can utilize this terrain that they built as gold plate. Oh, popping up, and the Mayo right there with the quick 1 tap. Mayo's insane.
Mayo indeed is insane. Yeah, there we go. Final 5 teams alive, Dave. This is quite huge. Second last game of the day 1. This is going to be meeting quite a lot for a lot of teams in here. This is pretty much their hopes and dreams to qualify in the future for the PMPL NA. And day 1 means quite a lot to kick things off if you're able to do that well, as I've been mentioning throughout the day. If you're able to do really well, that's going to mean quite a lot. Nate quite close, but not close enough. Off the mark, and Vamp are being spared.
That's the problem. You need to take out Mayo. And look at this. GameChangers. Zeus Jr., Russell looking at third party this one. They heard the gunshots. They heard the grenades. They saw the kill feed. And they're looking to push right behind the hit list. So that's going to give Vamp a second chance to regroup, reset, and, well, get themselves into the zone.
Oh, man. The hit list. Look at this. Getting shot from the back. G. Low, but not low enough to be knocked out. HQA, though, they're just letting all these teams fight, and they're being so safe. The hit list as well getting involved in the fight, including Vamp. But on the other hand, HQA is one of those teams, including LeveLx. They're just not doing anything. All they're doing is just holding their positions and maybe taking a couple of shots here and there. Just try and try to deal some chip damage. And that's what they're really working off of. Mayo spotting out a player in the top. Iconic clearly has a high ground, and with that high ground, also has a lot of advantage over Vamp.
What are we doing? Iconic getting into the truck. I'm getting a little risky out here. Iconic looking to get this flush onto Mayo, but can't crest over that hill too much because when they do, the duo from GameChangers will have clear sight lines on them. So that's why we can see the Hitlist playing so passive within their cover right now.
Look at Iconic, man, just making it hurt for Vamp. With that high ground, Vamp as well, they're just being pinned behind the cover that they've found themselves in. They're just being isolated back there. But they need to move out. Vamp, they don't really have a lot of time, man. They need to beat the time on the wall of death as well, because it's going to close in anytime soon. They are barely making it inside the next zone, and the other zone as well shifts pretty close to Vamp, so at least they are being graced by the PUBG gods inside this game. HQA finally being challenged by two different teams at the same time. It's GameChangers, another team at the top that's trying to take them down. But on the other hand, HQA, they're just able to reply back to each and every single team in the lobby.
They're not done. They're not done. HQA, it looks like they're still trying to steamroll over here on this north end. Yep, they're going to be popping up. They took out the GameChangers. Sup Pig popping their head up. Oh, look at that, the double. Can we get another one? Sup Pig! Dude, 2 health, 2 HP. Did not slow down. Pushed over that hill. Oh, man, Sup Pig. I see you. Oh. Well, you saw that, right?
Well, yeah, I saw that.
No hesitation.
No hesitation there, without a doubt. Sup Pig, though, is still left with quite such low HP. Rage just taking a lot of damage from the wall of death, and he will finally fall down. The play zone will take care of him. This is what happens when you don't really respect the play zone. You will be taken care of by it. And now it's HQA versus LeveLx. It's a 4-on-4 situation. Both the teams are looking pretty good, and this is the exact moment that they were waiting for, and it finally came.
Huge game for LeveLx, who 15th position coming in this match. 15th position, huge game. Huge opportunity as well if they can clutch this out, get that chicken dinner. That's worth 15 points. We'll see. We'll see what they can do here. Classic 4v4. This is what you like to see, Necro.
Classic 4v4. Both these teams, though, they're not really overextending their boundaries, and I like that. Taking things really safe. You don't really have that one player just doing that inting over there as well. No one's inting. Sunny is taking a lot of damage from that Molotov. He might just fall on top of the flames, but no. Able to move back in the nick of time. And I just like this Molotov uses as well, just to flush LeveLx out of their positions and just keep them on their toes, just keep them unsettled. And that's what HQA is really going for. Finally, the push comes in through. Sunny in the back falls down. Not really a good news, but LeveLx as well. The counter Molotovs comes in from the side of HQA. They're able to find an opening, and now they're trying to just move off of the momentum.
Carnage Double E, AKM, lock and loaded right there in the front lines. 17 bullets to go, trying to hit that heal. But Shiwong, I like what Shiwong is doing. Shiwong's waiting for the opponents to use their ammo, unload their magazine, and then pop up. Talk about the cool, calm, collective gunplay right now from Shiwong. That's the experience from this player coming into play here.
Interesting. There we go, though. HQA again on an aggressive page. Shiwong, as you mentioned, just popping and weaving through. Does realize there's a man in the front. Will take care of him that easily. And HQA, somehow, they're able to just easily take care of LeveLx. LeveLx just letting things loose in the final moments, and they will have to pay the price for it. HQA, though, beautiful way to take that win overall in their hand. Even though LeveLx was just pouring those Molotovs on top of them, overall, just lobbing it back to back. They were taking a lot of damage from those utilities, but still, they were able to win that situation. That's quite impressive.
Let's check out the match ranking real quick, because HQA, I know before coming into this game, I think we touched on it. They only had 5 KP. They only had 5 KP, but this game alone, they were able to double that, maybe even triple that. So HQA really laying it down here. 14 KP in total, almost 30 points, almost the double chicken dinner when we're talking points wise. But 17 points from LeveLx, that's huge, because this team in particular was in 15th position before this game. So we talk about confidence, we talk about the momentum meter. This game right here on Miramar is exactly what LeveLx needed. So congrats to them.
Oh man, this is what they really needed. Yeah, as you mentioned, just to elevate their gameplay as well. On day one, second last game on the map of Miramar, LeveLx able to prove themselves up. But again, the problem is the teams that are inside in here, they are able to get 1 or 2 games really good, and then later on, the momentum meter just falls down. They need to keep the consistency factor going if they just want to be really consistent in the upcoming days. Keep this in mind, as I mentioned, you only have 3 days and 5 games per day, and we
Yep.
already are we're already done with 4 games to kick things off. And that means now you only have 11 games to work with to try and keep the consistency factor going. And if you're not going to be able to keep the consistency factor going, that means you're probably going to be falling off the leaderboards as well. Top 8 is what you're really aiming for, and teams as well, they're going to be trying to go for it.
Talking about top 8, though, do we have the overalls? Because I'm curious about this because Ogilvy, they've been slipping, man. They've been slipping. They've been
0 points.
sliding. Yeah, 0 points that game. Not what you want to see. And Ogilvy no longer on the first page. That's gotta hurt a little bit. That's gotta hurt a little bit.
Not a little bit. That's gonna hurt quite a lot. Might just be a little bit of trauma as well that they will go through. You know, if you talk about the mental game, that's quite important. And after losing that spot in the first board, I'm pretty sure Ogilvy, they're not going to be a happy bunch. They're definitely going to be having sad or either angry faces in the next game. So I do want to see, is that going to help them boost their performance even more, or is that just going to degrade them down?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were 5th place, so they got bumped down quite a lot right there. And they have been a team, and I'm talking Ogilvy. We could swap that next page if possible. They have been a team that have been pretty consistent with the KP points, but not really when we're talking placement points. So if I am Ogilvy, we know you got the gun skills, the mechanics on point. If I'm Ogilvy, I think I'm going to try to focus a little more on surviving and waiting to take these fights when it's strategic to take these fights. And I'm talking to the mid to late game because I love their play style. I love what they have been demonstrating, but the one counter to that is if they do lose that engagement early on, they risk themselves to only getting 1 or 0 points. And that's exactly why we see them sliding down these overall leaderboards. 5 points to be exact, or 5 placements to be exact. And that's a big one. That's a big one.
Ooh, that's a huge one. Yeah, as you
5.
mentioned. 5.
Oh
man, but teams like Katalysts, man, that are all the way in the bottom of the board, do you have any words for them to just try and help them? Maybe if you're their coach, imagine yourself being their coach, what would you say to them to just try and elevate their game, just to try and help them out to be in the top 8?
You know what? Give me a couple minutes. I'm going to have to go to drawing board. I'm going to have to write with my marker all over the place. There's a lot to say. So give me a couple minutes, and when we come back after this break, we'll have the last game and my answer as coach for the Katalysts. Don't go anywhere. What's going on, everybody? One more game, Erangel. Whoa. Hey, listen, they said bring the energy, Necro. I know it's like, what, 5 a.m. for you, man? So shout out to
Oh,
you.
dude.
I had to wake you up somehow. So Pro League North America Qualifiers. That's
Okay.
what we're doing right here, right now, just in case you're tuning on in. So we're ready to go. Players loading on up in the game. Necro, let me ask you, after I just woke you up with that hype call, how you doing, man? 5 a.m. How
Oh,
you doing?
dude.
You drinking coffee? What's
It's
happening
actually
out there?
7. Scratch that. It's actually
Oh,
7 now. I
okay.
haven't slept for almost 16 hours. Not 16, more than that actually. Yeah, pretty much. It will be 24 hours soon. Yeah, it has to be 24 hours soon, but yeah. I'm doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I did check on some energy drinks as well, so I'm definitely having my energies up no matter what, because I was quite hyped to watch this PMPL NA itself. So hey, gotta always keep the energy level up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it going, keep it flowing, and keep it rowing. And shout out to everybody watching, by the way. I see a lot of people were really hyped against or for HQA getting that dub right there towards the end. I see Monica in the chat. We saw her casting EU qualifiers a little earlier on. Great job. John Allen's in the chat. I'm not sure, is that the real
I
John
don't think
Allen?
so.
Because the thing, I had him at first like, oh, that's the real one, but then they said it's 100 turtles. I was like, whoa, 100 turtles. It's not the real John Allen. Uh, yeah, out here. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's not the real
Oh
John
no, you
Allen.
just got
But
debated.
yep, I did. One more game to go, though. I got to say, I'm really impressed with the Chosen. They have been playing quite well, phenomenally here tonight. And I'm impressed with Lotus Esports
Yeah.
as well. Lotus Esports have been doing a great job here so far.
I just noticed I've officially been awake for 24 hours. But yeah, overall, Lotus Esports have been really insane so far, as you mentioned. Now, it all really does come down to this final game, Dave. And in final games, each and every single team, or at least the teams that are in top 8, they will need to make sure that they're able to stay in top 8. They need to defend that top 8 spot. If they're able to do so, at least they will have a little bit of good night's sleep tonight, and then maybe come back tomorrow as well with some more energy to try and just dominate the lobby. But the rest
Yeah.
teams that are on the second page, this is where this game can be really important for them as well. So overall, this game is going to be a worth watching game.
Yeah, for sure. Game number 5, right, of day number 1, and then we have 10 more games to go tomorrow. So, a best of 15, top 8 is the goal. We're almost there. Tomorrow will be halfway done in match number 3. So just as quickly as this started, it's gonna end. So I like to chalk it up to, this is a sprint, right? So you really need to come into every match, every game, really playing at the highest level possible, and trying to get as many points as possible. So if you are one of those teams, you do like to be aggressive early game, that's fine. But if it doesn't work out, you need to have a backup plan. And we've seen that from the Chosen. The Chosen, they have a backup plan every single game. They always send 3 up to take the fight, and if it doesn't work out, they got 1 in the back line to go for those placement points. So
Yeah.
hopefully other teams can take a page out of the Chosen's book and kind of implement that same strategy moving forward.
Oh, man. I mean, look, same strategy. I do understand Team Chosen for they're looking really promising inside this, but I feel like we also need to talk about Katalysts. Now, I asked you the question, Dave. I see what you're trying to do. You're just trying to dodge it at this point. I asked you the question.
Dude,
If you're the
relax.
coach of Katalysts, what are you saying? What are you telling them to do?
I'm going to say, listen, Katalysts, listen, prep Rozhawk, because you know that area, like inside and outside, all right? And I'm going to say, listen, get the loot, all right? And then I'm going to say, stay in Rozhawk as long as possible. Don't let anybody know you're there.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
Okay,
no,
back
no,
to
no.
Katalysts, back to
Yeah.
Katalysts, back to Katalysts. I'm going to say, listen, just hide in the closet. Get the placement points. We need placement points. We only got 6 total points, so we got 3 placement points, 3 elim points.
Okay.
We just need one game where we survive. We survive, we get a top 5, we get 6 placement points, we double our points for the day. And how do we do that? We snake it to make it. I think that's the play. Because, you have to
Okay.
assume they're kind of tilted right now at this point in the game. Last game of the night, they only got 6 points. They're all the way at the bottom. You're a little tilted. You know, you need a reset. You need that mental reset. You need to relax a little bit. You're not going to get that until after today's done. So with that in mind, the team comms might not be on point as of right now. So I think try to avoid these fights as much as possible here. Get these placement points, and on a high note. Here for day number 1, because all these players, they can definitely do it. They can definitely clutch it out. They can definitely pop off when they need to, right? So as long as they're not too far behind of that mid pack, you're fine. Necro, you're fine, because the goal here is not first place. Like, you know, you don't need to
Top
shoot
8.
for first place. Top 8. Your goal can legitimately be, hey, let's just get that 8th place spot. And as of right now, Katalysts, they're only 20 points behind that 8th place spot. That's nothing, dude. They're only 20 points. So that's that last place team. So everything is still up in the air.
Or maybe if you're just the coach of the team, you'll be like, all right, guys, don't worry about it. Okay, just let the Sanhok map come. Okay, you guys, you 3 of you can just go ahead and try and hunt team down and just try and get as much as a limb points. I'll be over here collecting the first aids and just get those positioning points for ourselves, and that's how we'll probably get some points.
Hold up. Am I playing though? Is the coach playing, or am I telling my team?
I'm
to do
sure
that?
you can go ahead and play as a 5th man. Why not?
Oh, what are you trying to say? They need 5 players now? That's not even possible.
No, I mean as a 5th man, it's just on the Sanhok map. You can replace someone else.
Oh, I mean, hey, I'm starting 24 hours. Last time you got some sleep, man. I'm telling you, they need you as their coach right now with these unorthodox plays and calls. That might work.
Maybe, man.
That might work. It just might be crazy enough to work.
You know, just a little bit of switcheroo coming through in the roster as well. You know, just for the map of Sanhok, we have Dave switching this player out, and then be like, Dave is just, we're seeing after like 20 minutes, Dave is just healing over there, and then you just have the final 2 teams live, and then you all the way out in the blue, you see just Dave healing. But yeah, overall,
I'll have my moment. I'll have my moment one day. All right, listen.
Don't worry, man. I'll hype you up so much. Trust me.
And you'd be like, oh, man, I remember back in 2021, Dave was telling me about the heal strat. He loves it. Look at him now. And I'm going to be there, boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to point. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm doing this for you, Necro. As I heal, right? Like, I'm doing this for my man, Necro. And then they're going to interview me because, you know, we're at a LAN at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, I did it for Necro. He didn't believe, but now he believes. And that's it. And then I walk off stage, get on the plane, and go home. There you go. GG.
Sounds good to me, man. Sounds pretty cool as well. Just Dave doing Dave things, you know. Can't really talk about it much, but yeah, now we
talk about it. No, we can definitely talk about it much here. Okay. You choose not to talk about it much.
Okay, listen, man. I feel like we need to talk about Katalysts more because they need these talks. Okay, what they can try and improve, what they can try and do to at least get themselves in the better positioning. Now, I do like what Katalysts are trying to do here. They have the high ground. They're also going for the info play, which is really good. They're being proactive inside the final game, and Katalyst, if they're able to just like keep things just like this, and if they're not making any rookie mistakes, that can help them out quite a lot.
Yeah, they are on that, some people call potato hill, right? They are on that potato hill. But they could have also stayed in Rozhok. Like I said, their drop spot. And if they would have stayed in Rozhok, well, they might have had the opportunity to gatekeep Thirdeye, who's going to be up there to the north. F7's probably going to be working their way through Rozhok here shortly as well. So I don't know. It's just different strategies. You know, you got different teams playing slow. You got other squads just playing dead center as much as possible every single game. And, you know, every team has their different mindset on what works and what doesn't work. And, well, Vamp, one of these teams who have been playing their off-center here tonight. As of right now, a couple of them in some vehicles looking for a spot to call home, doing a little bit of scout action. Currently in 4th place overall. So the off-center kind of strat has been working out for Vamp because they got 27 placement points and 14 elim points. So definitely a team that has been showing here so far that they know how to survive.
Oh, man. Teams, if they know how to survive, they probably do. Maybe Katalysts are struggling in that factor, but it's fine. they can try and work off of it. I mean, the first 5 games is fine. You still have the rest 2 days to work with. That means 10 games in total. And as you mentioned, there's not really a huge difference in the top 8 spots. So Katalysts can, of course, take their sweet little time. Maybe they can try and make a comeback happen on day 2. Imagine, Dave, Katalyst is one of those teams that just likes to play around with their emotions in the first day. And then the second day, you just see a complete different team. It's like, what exactly is going on?
Yeah, I mean, even right now, this game, if Katalysts get a chicken dinner with 5 kills, boom, 8th place. Just like that. Boom.
Easy clap.
Easy clap. Not the player boom, but boom, like boom, we're in 8th place.
Yeah.
Feel it.
TacoLovers, though. There we go. Spotting out a rotation all out in the open. 100 troubles. It's like they like to get trouble on themselves all the time. They like to get themselves in trouble. But still, for now, they're going to be a little safe. Found themselves a compound to work with. But are they well aware of what's going on in the surroundings? They did spot one man out in the far phrase. But Taco, I personally don't like the separation that Taco is showing here.
Not at all. This hasn't really been something they've been doing here tonight either, right? They got a 2-1-1 going on right now. And Taco, we know the TacoLovers, they're stronger when they're grouped up. They're stronger when they move as a unit. It's really been playing in their favor here tonight as they are in 5th place with 13 limb points. So they've been doing a really good job. And next zone goes up. Oh, looks like one of the Tacos are going to be caught off. They're going to be down. They're out. We were just talking about the separation from them, right? Like, man, you hate to see a Taco get taken out this early on.
Oh, no. Cute little Taco. Not alive anymore in the game. How you feeling, Dave?
Well, last season, it was PMCO. The TacoLovers, they said, hey, Dave, if we make it to PMPL, we'll send you a shirt with the Taco logo on it. I don't forget. Yeah, I don't forget. I remember that type of stuff.
Hey, look,
so
this time you did not. Listen, this time you did not go with Taco, okay? I was the one who went with TacoLovers, so I deserve that shirt.
Whoa.
Okay? I deserve
You're trying
that
to steal my
Come
shirt?
On. I mean, I will do that because you did not go with them this time, okay? It's 2022, man. New year, new things.
How about we both get a shirt? Because I'm still a TacoLover fan.
But I need a shirt on my size, though.
They got all types of shirts. Maybe I'll get a hat, too. A little TacoLover cap.
Plushies, too?
I'm over here, though. I'm over here straight chilling. As Vamp, doing the same thing, taking some pot shots with the mini out there and the distance on the Chosen. Definitely a team that you need to watch out for. But look at the Chosen. They do have a little compound to work with, but they got Vamp to the south, taking some shots through these windows. And then also 100 troubles out there to the east side on the top of the mountaintop, the top of the hill. So the Chosen, safe for the time being, but a lot of enemies kind of near them.
Enemies near them without a doubt. As this circle is going to be closing in, as it's going to shrink down, enemies definitely are going to be closing in as well. HTV, Boom is the man looking to confirm the kill, and he does. Faker out the equation from Taco. Such an unfortunate outing for TacoLovers in the final game. Now left with only 2 players to work with on this map of Erangel. They were able to kick things off pretty well in the game 1, and now in game 5, I don't know what exactly has happened to TacoLovers, but they definitely need someone to talk them out of this situation.
They just stopped playing grouped up, right? They stopped playing grouped up. That's the thing with the Chosen. They play separated, but just far enough that if one of them gets knocked, they have the ability to immediately start hoofing and start running and get that pick up to revive and kind of support them. So they give each other room, just enough room to kind of, rely on their solo individual skills. But at the same time, they always have that in the back of their mind that their teammate is near, that just in case things don't go the way, their teammate is there to support them and get them picked up, right? And that is just not what we saw from the 2 TacoLovers who got taken out this game. They were too separated, playing out there on their own. And, well, they got knocked out, and there's no return fire, no support, so they immediately got thirsted.
No. Oh, no. Look at that. Ogilvy, though. Taking a lot of shots in that rotation. One man being caught. Ogilvy not going to be happy after that. Instantly, the kill gets confirmed as well. On the other hand, we are also seeing the Hitlist getting themselves engaged in a fight. And look at this, the circle moves on the right side, it kind of like between Potato Hill and Farm. And now the Hitlist just looking to inflict a little bit of more pain onto Ogilvy. With the team's only left with 3 players alive, I do want to see what they're going to be able to do now.
Let's see. Saw Goldblade a lot of times here tonight. A player who has been playing for a good amount of time here in the competitive scene, able to hit some shots. Nice little US skin too. Probably one of my favorite US skins in the game. But yeah, Goldblade working with Jack G, who, if I recall, used to play on the Knights at one point. This team looking to climb up the leaderboards in the final game of the evening. 11th place right now. They got 15 placement points, so they've been okay in that department, but only 8 elim points. So just like we saw right there, a team that has been doing their best to avoid these fights. It might be biting them in the tail here. And talk about biting them in the tail. Well, Flash was in the front line. This is Thirdeye. Thirdeye was able to knock down Flash, and Flash trying to crawl back to their teammates. You have to assume they're calling for the revive, the pickup, telling them, I'm safe, I'm in the smokes. But in reality, those smokes are not the best place to be in that soft cover, as Flash just trying their best to crawl back. Will they get there in time? And I don't know.
Oh, man. Get there in time?
They got there. They got there in time.
Yeah, they did, but still, look at this. A man is knocked out, is bleeding out as well. Thirdeye. They will have a little bit more added pressure because of that, but they will need to get the fallen man back up on his feet. But he's really separated out from the team. I don't know why one of the players from Thirdeye isn't really going for the save on the fallen man. They can just smoke him out and get the E-res back up and ask him to heal easily. But instead, it's Pro Era going for that kill confirmation. We do see a man moving in quite close to the knocked out player of Thirdeye. The kill confirmation's there, and now it's Pro Era looking to be a little mature inside this fight.
Yeah, and the thing is, this fight has been taking so much time that now other teams, for example, Lotus, trying to make their way into the zone on that west side, Lotus, Ogilvy, they're going to be hearing the shots, and it looks like Lotus might be posturing, or they were at least, to possibly third-party Pro Era, but Pro Era doing a good job at taking some shots at their vehicles, kind of pushing them back for the time being. But if you're Pro Era, you do not want to get sandwiched between Lotus, right, and Thirdeye. Like, you just don't want to be in that situation. So I'm really curious to see what Pro Era do to avoid that.
Oh, man. Got caught out in the blue zone. Kiyoshi taking a decent amount of damage onto himself. And again, if you talk about med situation, each and every single player inside this lobby, I don't know why, they just don't really have that good of meds to work with. Maybe next time they will need to try and stack up on those.
Let's see as things kind of sizzle out, the calm before the storm, at least for these teams out here on that west side, because the next zone did shift, and these teams aren't too far from it, right? We see Thirdeye, they're actually in it. But over here, look at this. TacoLovers, remember, they're down to just 2, now 1. Reckless, the last Taco alive here. 2 games in a row, UMP in hand. Looks like Vamp going to be closing in on that first story compound that they were holding down, and the teamwork right there. The hit Reckless from both sides, both angles, with the UMP spray down. It's just too strong to handle him. Looks like Vamp were able to acquire this very centralized compound here in this zone.
Oh, man. And Vamp, now, as you mentioned, got themselves a really good positioning as well. Are they going to be able to hold it off pretty well? That's the question. Are they going to be able to turn that positioning or use that positioning for their success? That's what I'm wondering. Pro Era inside this game, they're looking really good. The way they were getting just decimated by all the other teams, but this time it's Pro Era looking a little bit proactive inside this game. But as I say that, I'm just cursing them. It's a huge caster curse coming through.
Oh, yeah, look at that. They are going to be utilizing those trenches, though, down there for the cover for the time being. And they are in the zone. They are in the zone. And look at this. Lotus going to be sidetracked here. Going to be taking the push. Oh, Basalt. Woof. Tagged with the scar from Peaceful as Trey looking to get that flank, that wraparound. Looked like Trey was trying to change your mind at the end.
Oh, my God.
through the smokes, catching Jess right there, midair. Trey,
Oh, no.
not done yet, making that U-turn, pulling back around.
That's
Man,
a lawnmower right there.
Trey has been in the buggies all night long too, by the way. All night long, doing the same thing, and I understand why. It's been working out big time.
Yeah, it's been working out. Players are just not able to connect shots at him. He's not getting punished for doing so. So as long as if something's working out, why change it? On the other hand, the hit list, Jachi finds an opening on the K19. But on the other hand, the reply comes in through from the side of Vamp. GC Zeus JR as well. Oh, so many kills. It's just flowing in the kill board.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even notice what exactly is going on. It's complete chaos as the circle shrinks down. And now Ogilvy left to take care of the teams in the front lines and GameChangers. They have all their 4 players alive, so this is going to be good news for a team like GameChangers.
GameChangers have been all night long, slowly just ramping up the aggression, ramping up the plays, and looking good while doing it here, while playing from the edge. Really do like GameChangers here so far. A team that has been playing nice, slow, and steady here all evening long. Zeus Jr. though, caught in the back seat, the death seat I call it. Echo here from the M4, got that spray down. They should be able to pick up Zeus Jr. though. Russell behind this tree, gonna be tossing some of these grenades, but that boulder just too strong now. Back to your point, look at this, Vamp. Next zone, their compound, bam, right there on the edge. So I'm really curious to see how they hold it down, like you said, how they defend that complex. But over here, though, still in the north, we got Jason. Is Jason still alive? Because Jason has been just clutching it out all night long for Ogilvy. No, Jason was spotted.
Oh, no, Jason now being shut down. Jason's kind of like a huge man. If Jason's alive in the game, there's going to be a huge threat. And Ogilvy will be able to pop off. If Jason's being taken care of, then Ogilvy as well will pretty much crumble down. So Jason's kind of like the star player for that team. Mute, taken down quite low with that nade. But here comes the push from Bolty. Spots out the Toes, and that's all he needs. Toes being taken care of, and GameChangers. I like the way how they've changed their game as well.
Yeah, they've been ramping it up. They've been. Yeah. I think they were a little nervous, maybe game 1, game 2, but now they're feeling good. Whoa!
Oh my god.
Oh my god is right, because look at that. There's a lot of people down.
100 troubles though. They're trying their best, at least to fight back. It's being used from the side of Vamp. They do realize there was a lot of kills inside the house. They still haven't really gotten the confirmation, but instead it's 100 troubles who are able to get the rest back up on the fallen men. Russell back up on his feet. Same thing goes with another man of 100T. And look at this. Oh no, Vamp, what's going on? Solo, you're still sticking the raise. You're an absolute psychopath for doing that. Oh my god. Quite close. And Junacho for over-peaking, for being a little too over-aggressive, overconfidence, being punished by Vamp. CES Oswald back up on his feet, trying to patch himself back up.
Still got Mayo alive over here too. Mayo and Benny. We saw Mayo last game kind of clutch it out. Looked like Russell was able to get the pickup. Mayo's inside the building though. Gonna be tossing Molly on a second story. That one should be good. Bouncing off the roof right there. Gonna be trickling down as Russell burning alive Mayo. Talk about the game sense right here. Mayo, 5 elim points so far. And Vamp taking out 100 trouble. So I'm going to keep saying it all night long. 101 troubles. That one being Mayo, the breacher from Vamp.
Oh no, a man falls down on top of the flames. And well, that's not really looking that great. There we go though, Vamp. Now left with only 3 players to work with. Vamp as well, taking things really safe, even though they did realize 100 troubles were in a huge world of trouble. They still did not decide to push it. Instead, they were just going for the safe plays. On the other hand, HQA left with only 2 players to work with now. I do want to see what they have in their backs.
Huge win, too, from Vamp, just to kind of double back to them, because look at that compound in the zone. It is there, right? So they have that cover to work with, and they're still taking shots up there to the south, to the north. They're taking shots everywhere. Vamp with 7 elim points here this game. that was something that Vamp were kind of lacking here all night long, was those elim points. So they're ramping it up here as well, kind of like the GameChangers are with 9. Looking over here, though, on the opposite end of the Vamp compound, Lotus looking to pull up here onto the Hitlist, looking to take their shack, their dip from them.
Oh, man, but is that going to happen? That's the question. Lotus just raining down death and destruction onto the hit list. All 4 players grouped out in the open. The only cover they have is the smoke. And the smokes as well are going to be fading away, so it's just a matter of times when they're going to be completely exposed. One man from GameChanger gets spotted out in the open. It's Russell getting taken care of by Salt. Beautiful, precise spray coming in from his side. Lotus now trying to make a safe rotation inside the zone with the vehicles they've gotten themselves. Circle shifts out in the open. All the teams are just on the edge of the zone.
Hitlist trying to pull up just a little bit right there. Ooh, Glenn popping out right there with the spray, the red dot M4. And look at this, not slowing down anytime soon. Pulling up. Oh, Casper popping up with Glacier M4. Just too strong, but the squad mates from behind from the Hitlist able to provide the support, but not in time for Glenn before they got thirsted.
Oh, no. Eliminated GameChangers out the game. I thought GameChanger at least will have banger game for themselves, and they did. 15 points secured from that. That's going to help them out quite a lot to just catapult through on the overall rankings. But now Chosen, they're just making this push happen, clearing this house all across. Chosen do realize there has to be a little rat hiding inside the house, and that's what they're looking for. Beautiful nade from the side of the hit list, and it connects right on the mark.
Yeah, it looks like Mayo was kind of flushed out right there from Vamp from the Chosen, who overthrew them in their compounds right there to the north. So Mayo just kind of sneaking it, trying to survive. Unfortunate for them, ran right into Jat G, prepared, ready to go, grenade in hand. Down to 3 teams here. And look at the elim points. Lotus with 9, the Chosen with 8, the Hitlist with 7. So these 3 teams alone account for most of the elim points here this game. So they're looking to close out strong. Not only that, Lotus with 4 up, the Chosen with 4 up. Let's see, can they continue to survive as Jat G trying to avoid the sight lines down there from 2 different teams.
Oh, man. But Lotus, yeah, just spraying through it, just trying to find some connections. Not really able to do so. Final 3 teams alive, Dave. 11 players in total. Lotus have all their 4 players up. On the other hand, the hit list only have 3 players, and Team Chosen still looking pretty strong. They're letting these 2 teams fight against each other, and Team Chosen will probably strike in when it's the right moment.
Yeah, this game right here is way bigger for the hit list compared to the other 2 teams because the hit lists are in 11th place on the overall. Jat G, though, the toes, the legs going to be spotted, and not only that, look at the mollies coming out from the Chosen as Trey running across this open field, looking to reposition this slight little dip where Jat G just got taken out.
Oh no, the Trey as well, taking little shots. Look at the way Chosen has spread themselves out on the edge of the zone. Close to the wall of death, and now Hitlist as well, making that push happen. Jat G is knocked out, but it's fine. He isn't going to be the main priority for the hit list, at least for now. Goldblade, he should heal himself up, but the problem is he just doesn't really have heals to work with. So Salt is just going to try and just pinch or just rub the Salt on their wounds. And the Lotus try their best to fight back in this situation. They're able to win that initial fight with them, but now they will have to take care of the final boss, and it's going to be the Chosen.
And you're down to just a solo. Lotus taking out 2nd place.
Oh,
GG to them. Lotus have been consistent all evening long. Same could be said from the Chosen. So these 2 teams have, I'm going to say, been dominating day number 1 here. The Hitlist showing up here in this final match as well. Much needed to really boost them up the overall leaderboard. Let's check out the scores, though. Let's check out the scores. Let's get those exact numbers because I saw HTV, I saw Katalysts, and even K19 not really popping off here this game. And, well, here's the scores. What stands out to you, Necro?
Oh, man. Nothing really standing out, right? The teams that I expected to perform that have done so. Overall, the Chosen as well, just keeping that consistency factor going, getting that chicken dinner. Lotus doing good as well. The hit list getting themselves a third spot. Vamp as well. It was like coming inside the NA qualifiers. This is what your like overall team was that you picked. So Vamp as well, just delivering up to their name, living up to their name. Nothing really standing out to me inside this game. This was pretty much as expected.
Let's check out that next page, though. Listen. I want to check out this next page, but I really want to check out the overall because tonight has been something else for a couple of these teams. TacoLovers, they started really strong in the day, but they kind of just slowly fizzled out, right? Kind of falling apart. Same could be said with Ogilvy. So I wonder if our production, if we do have those overalls available, because I'm really curious to see where those two teams in particular are going to find themselves. The other two teams, the Chosen, Lotus, I'm confident, man. They're going to be up there. They're going to be at the top. They're going to be looking good. They're going to be feeling good. They're going to have a bunch of points to work with coming into day number 2. But yeah, Ogilvy, TacoLovers, where you at? And okay, here's the overall leaderboard. So TacoLovers, able to just remain there in that top 8, tied with F7 Esports here.
Oh man, as you mentioned, just tied with them. And look at this, the Chosen with 83 points. That's quite huge on Dave, considering the fact that it was just day 1 and 5 games in their hands. Chosen are able to live up to their name for sure. And then you have Lotus Esports right below them with 70 points. Vamp, and then you just look at the points difference between Vamp and Lotus Esports. Lotus Esports now definitely having that little bit of safety cushion to work with. I do want to see how they're going to be utilizing that in the future lines, or at least in the upcoming days, which is probably tomorrow. But yeah, TacoLovers, they had a really good first game, but then after that, things did look like it was kind of slipping off from their hands.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to need to come back with a new game plan tomorrow to make sure not to continue to slip down, right? Especially with the competition, you have to assume they're going to be looking at the footage here from today and readjusting maybe their drop spots, their rotations, or even their play style altogether. So checking out this next page, we're talking about the TacoLovers right there on the cusp. Well, these next teams, they really need to do something if they want to qualify, be top 8 to advance to PMPL, because we are officially done with 1 out of the 3 days here, Necro. So only 10 more games to go.
Yeah, only 2 days, man. 10 more games. And as I mentioned, first day was the most instrumental day. First day was the most important day. If you were able to get a decent amount of lead in the first day, that would help you out quite a lot in the upcoming 2 days, considering you don't really have a lot of games and days in your hands. And now 5 games already out of the equation. You only have 10 more games left over here. So I do want to see what teams that are on the other half of the board, what they've got for themselves, especially GameChangers. They looked quite promising on the final game.
I'm surprised with Thirdeye, right? Thirdeye being in 15th position right now. Every single match we had tonight, Thirdeye, they were always in a fight, right? They were always in a fight.
They're always getting the spotlight.
They're getting so much spotlight here tonight. And the reason I'm surprised is because they only got 2 placement points and they're in 15th with all of that spotlight here that they were able to get here tonight. So you got to assume they're going to be trying to get those placement points here tomorrow to kind of balance it out. But ladies and gentlemen, Pro League North America Qualifiers, 10 more games to go starting tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for tuning on in, and we appreciate you. Keep playing PUBG Mobile.